با استفاده از علم کلام سعی در نشان دادن تضاد آن با مبانی فکری خود اثناعشریه در موضوعاتی چون اسمت امام، لطف الهی و تکلیف داشتند و از این تضاد حقانیت آراء زیدیه را نتیجه گیری می‌کردند. این در حالی بود که متکلمین اثناعشریه ضمن پاسخ به شبهات زیدیه برای بحث و تحکیم عقلانی غیبت می‌کوشیدند. به عنوان نمونه ردیه ابوزید علوی زیدی از اهالی ری بر امامیه اثناعشریه واکنش همشهری امامی مذهب او ابو جعفر محمد ابن عبدالرحمن ابن قبه الرازی رو به دنبال داشت. این پاسخ ابن قبه مبنایی برای اظهارات علمای امامیه در ادوار بعد گردید. امام ابوالقاسم محمد ابن احمد ابن مهدی الحسنی النیسابوری از شاگردان برجسته امام زیدی الناطق بالحق ابو طالب هارونی بود که در قرن پنجم زندگی میکرد. وی ردیه‌ای با عنوان النقض المکتفی علی من یقول بالامام المختفی بر کتاب المقنع شریف مرتضی در مورد غیبت و مهدی عجل الله تعالی فرجه الشریف نوشت. در پی تضعیف زیدیه در ایران با مهاجرت علمای آن از ایران به یمن نتایج چنین کنش‌ها و واکنش‌هایی به آنجا منتقل شد. نمونه چنین تحولی را میتوان انتقال کتاب المحیط به اصول الامامه علی مذهب زیدیه اثر ابوالحسن علی ابن حسین ابن محمد از زیدی شاه سربیجان به یمن دانست. وی از مؤلفین زیدیه در قرن پنجم بود. المحیط دستمایه اظهارات المنصور بالله در مورد امامیه اثناعشریه در عقد الثمین گردید. بدین ترتیب در یمن نیز کتاب‌هایی بر اساس آثار واسطه زیدیان ایرانی اعم از مهاجر و غیر مهاجر تألیف شد که وجوه اشتراک و افتراق زیدیه با امامیه اثناعشریه را آشکار می‌کرد. بدین ترتیب دامنه جغرافیایی داد و ستد میان امامیه اثناعشریه و زیدیه گسترده تر از مرزهای ایران و عراق شد و به یمن رسید. از نقل قولهای مؤلفین اثناعشری و زیدی از آثار یکدیگر دست کم دو فایده حاصل می شود. دسترسی به بخشی از منابعی که متاسفانه موجود نیستند و به ما نرسیدند. دوم، در مورد منابع موجود نیز نقل قولها از نسخه های قدیمی تر هستند معمولا. اهمیت هر یک از این دو مورد پوشیده نیست. بدین ترتیب حاصل رقابت و داد و ستد علمی میان زیدیه و اثناعشریه را میتوان میراث مشترک آنها دانست که گرچه از ایران و عراق خارج شد در یمن حفظ گردید. امیدان که در شرایط امروزی حاکم بر یمن اگر نه همه اون کتابا حداقل بخشیش واسه نسل‌های آینده حفظ بشه که پژوهشگرا بتونن در آینده به اون نسخه‌های خطی دست پیدا کنن. از صبر و حوصله همه دوستان تشکر میکنم.
Thank you. And the fact that we now have more time for discussion because the last paper was shorter than it needed to be. I'm opening the floor. If you could please direct your question to the person or to more than one. And please use the mic as well.
شود که من نسبت به مباحثی که جناب دکتر هیز داشتن یه چند تا نکته مطرح میکنم که اگر توضیحی داشتن ارائه کنند و استفاده کنید. من از مجموعه بحث احساس کردم که کار ایشون در زمینه مکاتبات با امامان شیعه است و حالا که در لابلای بحث بیشتر تأکید بر کتاب‌های مسائل شد و کتاب‌های مسائل در تراث امامیه غالباً غیر مکتوبه، یعنی بین مسائل المسائل و المکاتبات یه تفاوت جدی وجود داره. برخلاف المسائل که همونطور که اشاره کردید خیلی مهمه در میراث فقهی ما و کلامی ما بهش استناد می شده، اما مکاتبات چندان زیاد نبوده بین امامیه و امامانشون و از این جهت به نظرم یه مقدار اینجا شاید اشتباهی صورت گرفت. اون مواردی هم که فرمودید که نامه‌هایی رو می بردن، نوشته هایی بود که به امام در واقع عرضه می شد و جواب رو حالا پشت اون نامه کاغذ می نوشتن، اون مربوط مسائل از سنخ مکاتبات به حساب نمیاد، چون مکاتبات اونهایی است که خود امام می نویسن و ارسال می کنن و ویژگیاش فرمودید اونا تفاوتی نمی کنه. به صورت کلی سنت اصحاب امامیه در حدیث ما بوده که معمولاً مطالبی رو که از امام میپرسیدند این رو یا همون زمان مکتوب میکردن یا بعداً به کتابت میرسیده. بین تفکیک بین این دوتا به نظرم خیلی کمک میکنه در تحلیل مطالب این دوره. نکته دیگری اشاره کردید در رابطه که استنادهای زیادی کردید به رجال کشی و مواردی که اختلاف میشد بین اون نامه هایی که میرفت توی شهرستان ها که احیانا نامه درست هست یا درست نیست. تحقیقات نشون داده که اگر نگم تمام اونها، غالب اونها مربوط مسائل فقهی و محتوایی نیست. این نامه هایی بود که بین وکلا و امام داده میشد و مسائلش مسائل موقت و درگیر همون زمان بود، یعنی مسائلی بود مربوط به اموال یا اینکه نمایندگی رو چه کسی داشته باشه. و اگرم ملاحظه فرمایید معمولا این افرادی که در رجال کشی از اونها به عنوان محل اختلاف ذکر میکنن در میراث بعدی آثار اونها مورد اعتماد نیست و قمی ها و دیگرانی آثار رو تقریبا از کتب امامیه حذف کردن که دو دلیل هم داره. یکی این است که اساسا محتوا نیست، بس در مورد نمایندگی فرد در یک جایی است و اموالی که اونجا داره یا موقعیت اجتماعی او هست. و یه جهت دیگرش این است که اینها از کسانی که مورد وثوق محدثان ما باشن نیستن. خیلی از این افراد بعداً به اصطلاح توثیق نشدن، مورد اعتماد قرار نگرفتن و میراثشون در کتب بعدی نیامده.
So I hope I've understood all of that. The first point about the distinction between written and oral, I think in some cases it is visible, but there are clearly cases where, for example, you have a Kitab al-Masail and it's the same text as a Kitab al-Tawqi'at in a different Rijal book. So there is a blurring between oral and written, and we need to be very careful about this, and any sources or recommendations that you have where this is discussed, I'd be interested to see them. In general, the Rijal books are very brief in their mention of the text, and if we don't have the text, it's difficult to know the circumstances of its production. The question, I'm very interested in this question again of the reception. So what I was looking at today was mainly the first point of production. So the moment when the Masail were taken down, when they first emerge. The question of whether they enter into fiqh as hadith used by fuqaha, then is a very interesting question, and I imagine that's a complex story in itself. So how do these works continue to be used or not? My sense is that often they are compiled, if they're useful, and if they're considered authentic and valid, then they go into larger works which are more systematic, so that if they're used for fiqh, then they can be classified under the Bab al-Khums or Bab whatever it is. So you see tawqi'at in Bab al-Khums in larger works, for example. So what I want to do really is just to go back a step. Of course, that continues to be valid, but I want to go back a step and just ask what were the original circumstances of these, whether it's letter or oral communications. I'd be very interested to see your articles as well about the Madrasa Kufa, because I suspect there are some answers there in terms of how I would like to know more about the social context of how did the followers of the Imams operate. Like physically, where did they sit? Were they in a private house? Did they go to the mosque? Where was it happening? How long were these sessions? All of these details of the daily reality of learning and teaching. I think certainly in English, Shia studies, it's not sufficiently explored, and maybe there are sources I don't know.
Some indications are in Najam's book.
Yes, of
where
course.
Where he talks about mosques where the Shia were in Kufa. And actually most of the mosques we don't know what they are because they don't seem to have survived.
Right.
I think there was one comment here and then we'll come back to the questions. Moblaghi.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. یه بحثی رو که امروز من از صبح شاهد بودم، هم آقای موریموتو، هم یومن، هم ایشون آقای حاضر، تحلیل تاریخ یعنی تحلیل یک واقعه‌ای که در یک مقطعی از تاریخ رخ داده امر حساس و خطیریه و ممکن است اگر بر چنین تحلیلی همه اصول، فارسی بلدید شما، همه اصول حاکم نباشه، ممکنه نتایج غیر تضمین شده باشه و یا قابل قبول نباشه. فی‌المثل ما باید اصل شناخت شرایط اجتماعی حاکم بر اون واقعه یا شخصیت تاریخی رو بدانیم که من اهمها، مهمترینش به نظر من شناخت جایگاه شخصیت و فعل اجتماعی اوست. یعنی نقطه محوری جایگاه خود شخصیت هست. چون مثلا در جامعه شناسی اصلا شخصیت دارای یک مکانت اجتماعی است و فعل اجتماعی داره. ما اول باید این رو بشناسیم. اگر نشناسیم اصلا نمیتونیم فعل او رو تحلیل کنیم و به بیراهه میریم. دو، شناخت جایگاه و فعل اجتماعی شخصیت‌های پیرامونی. باید اصحاب رو از حیث اجتماعی جایگاه شناسی کنیم. اگر نکنیم سوالات بیشمار در مقابل ما قرار میگیره و یا گاهی به یه راهی میریم که اون راه اصلا ما رو از واقعیت دور میکنه. سه، شناخت جایگاه رقبا احیانا یا کسانی که در مقابل اون شخصیت قرار دارن. حتما باید جایگاه اجتماعیشون رو بشناسیم. اونها چه فعلی با چه ماهیتی تا این تضارب افعال و مواجهه افعال رو به دقت تحلیل کنیم. چهار، مسافرت‌ها که البته ایشون خیلی دقت فرمودن. شناخت افکار جامعه مخاطب که البته باز ایشون دقت کردن. و دیگر مقایسه، ما حتما باید مقایسه کنیم. مثلا بدون مقایسه تاریخ رو نمیشه شناخت. و دیگر بالیدگی تاریخی. به نظرم این قدری در مطالعات ما رعایت نمی شود که ما تاریخ مطالعه کردنش بسیار پیچیده است. یعنی یک هسته است که این میباله، تطور پیدا میکنه و میاد. شما گاهی از رهگذر تطور میتونید یه فکر پنهان رو کشف کنید. ما نمیتونیم یک مقطع رو به صورت جدا شده از پیشینه خودش بررسی بکنیم. مثلا بر شیخ صدوق اگر تکیه و تمرکز میکنیم، اگر این تمرکز بدون دقت و توجه و رفت و برگشت‌های مکرر نسبت به وضعیت پیشینی باشه، خب به نتایجی ممکنه برسیم که اون نتایج تضمین شده نیست. البته هم بحث صبح هم بحث بعد از ظهر که شما ماشید یک اهمیت بسیار زیادی که داره اینه که طرح سوال میکنه و اول الحرکت العلمیه هو طرح سوال. سوالات خیلی خوبی، چون ما در ارتباط با حدیث به یه بنبست رسیدیم. این طرح سوال میتونه بنبست بشکنه، اما نتایج رو نمیشه تضمین شده گرفت، چون بحث تاریخ خطیر و حساس.
Thank you. I agree with everything you've said. Thank you.
There's a question right here at the front first.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In fact, I wanted to talk with Dr. Abdul Majid. First of all, I think you talked about some methodologies in jurisprudence, Islamic jurisprudence. For example, deductive methodology, analytical methodology, also as well as descriptive methodology. Let me ask your good self. If I wanted to make, or maybe Sunnis and Shiites wants to make comparative study between Islamic jurisprudence according to the school of Sunnis and the school of Shiites, how can we say about rationality? In other words, what the Islamic sources according to Shia school, as we said, in Sunni, in Al-Azhar, for example, we say analogical deduction, public interest, custom, istishab, I mean also blocking the means. That is according to rationality. As Shia's school agree on these sources or not? That's what I want, in fact, to know, because we wanted to make comparison between both Islamic jurisprudence in two schools or on both schools. So this.
Thank you. That's a really, really big question. And can we hold that? And because this is like going to start a whole class of fiqh and usul. So, but can we take this at the last and then go? Because hopefully there'll be. چون خیلی طولانیه.
فقط چون ایشون سوالش متوجه من بود. آمین. من ایشون یک سوال خیلی مهمی دارن و آن این است که وقتی پای مصادر و منابع به میانه است، سخن گفتن از عقلانیت به چه معناست؟ عقلانیت یه فصل مستقلی برای او گشودن لا مجال له، بلکه ما به همون پاسخ این است که عقلانیت یک بحث فلسفی تحلیلی است، در فلسفه فقه مطرح میشه. ما حق داریم مجموعه فتاوا، روایات و حرکت تاریخ مربوط به یک فقه رو بررسی کنیم، بگیم نقطه برآیندی این حرکت این عقلانیت بوده. هیچگاه عقلانیت دلیلی نیست برای اثبات یک اندیشه، ولی میتواند به مثابه یک نگاه، یک افق، گاهی در یک حرکتی ما را به زمینه‌های راهنمون بشه. ضمناً من نگفتم که شیعه فقط عقلانیت داره، گفتم هر مذهب فقهی مثل اهل سنت عقلانیت مقاصد الشریعه‌ای داره، این عقلانیت اونا داره، یا عقلانیت اصول الفقه مبتنی بر مقاصد الشریعه که شاطبی ایجاد کرده. اصلا بحث در این نیست که عقلانیت رو اثبات کنیم یا نکنیم، میگیم این عقلانی است، چون هر چیزی که میتونه فقه رو متصل کنه به جامعه امرون عقلانیون، حالا مشروع املا هذا موکول الی مکان آخر، بحث اصول فقه، بحث‌های دیگه. لذا به این خاطر در مقام نفی عقلانیت نبودم. عقلانیت اختصاصی شیعه رو میخواستم بگم. عقلانیت چیزیست که دانش رو سر پا نگه بداره، عقلانیت چیزیست که به نظریه پردازی بیانجامد که همون مکتب عقلانیت فلسفی فضا رو برای نظریه پردازی ایجاد میکنه، حالا نظریه پردازی برای توسعه دانش یا برای پاسخگویی به جامعه. و عقلانیت اونیست که دانش بتونه کارکرد خودش رو انجام بده، که من 3 تا رو عرض کردم که هر کدام به جایی توجه.
سلام، سوال منم تقریبا در همین جهت هست. شما به 3 عقلانیت کانونی اشاره کردین در تشیع و همونطور هم که خودتون به کرات فرمودین، این به صورت پتانسیل هنوز در فقه شیعه وجود داره.
با یه جلوه‌های احیانا و کارکردهای پتانسیل نیست.
بله، همین تاکید من روی همین هستش که این ظرفیت آیا در حوزه علمی قم به عنوان قلب اسلام شیعی آسیب شناسی شده که چه موانعی وجود داشته که این پتانسیل به منصه ظهور و به عرصه عمل کشیده بشه، که آسیب شناسیش موانعش سیاسی بودن، مذهبی بودن، اجتماعی بودن؟ در طول تاریخ این پتانسیل چی شده که استفاده نشده به اون شکل که باید و شاید؟
من پاسخی که میتونم، اجازه است، پاسخی که میتونم بدم این است که ما روش و مناهج فقهی داشتیم اما علم المناهج و روش شناسی نداشتیم. ما عقلانیت اصولی داشتیم ولی عقلانیت فلسفی که بره به سمت اینکه اصول رو بررسی کنه از دور و از بیرون و فقه رو بررسی کنه از دور و بیرون نداشتیم. حرکت فلسفه فقه و فلسفه اصول اخیراً شروع شده و اینها همه این نکته ها و امثال این نکته هایی که ممکن است در آینده گفته بشه همه رهاوردهای یک نگاه فلسفی تاریخی است که داره به فقه می‌نگره از دور و چون ما در ابتدای راه هستیم میتونیم و حق داریم پتانسیل ها و ظرفیت های فقه رو شناسایی کنیم و نشانه ها و نموده های احیانی که گاه بیگاه در بعضی از مقاطع تاریخی خودی از نشون داده اونها رو رصد کنیم و ارائه کنیم و بعد بیاییم و در روش اینا رو تعبیه کنیم و جاسازی کنیم. البته همه اینها باید بر اساس اصول مسلم توسعه فقه و علم اصول باشه و نباید به صورت دل بخواهانه و بر اساس یک منطق تأسیسی منفصل از تاریخ فقه و مبانی فقه انجام بده.
آقای کریمی.
با این جمله آخری پیام جملهشون تمام شد، سوالم رو از آقای مبلغی میپرسم. سوال من در مورد این پتانسیل هست که شما تشریح کردین از در عقلانیت شیعی با اون 3 نوع کتگوری مختلف. من متوجه حاصل نتیجه سخن شما نمیشم. خیلی سعی کردم این رو بفهمم که اگر ما تشریح بکنیم این 3 نوع عقلانیت وجود داشته و وجود داره اما کمتر به ظهور رسیده و پتانسیلش بیشتر وجود داره، این چه فرقی وجود داره بین شیعه و یه مکتب دیگه ای از اهل سنت؟ چون که در میان اونها هم چنین پتانسیلی میتونه وجود داشته باشه. حالا شما ممکنه بگین که نه، ما در میان اهل سنت چنین پتانسیلی نمیبینیم. به یک دسته ها و گروه هایی از اهل سنت استشهاد بکنید، نشون بدین و بگین که اونها شبیه ما نبودند. خب اهل سنت هم میتونن بگن که بسیاری از گروه های شیعه همین الان امروزه این پتانسیل خاص در عقلانیتی که شما تشریح کردین رو ندارن. چه بسا شما به حوزه علمیه قم که شدیداً متأثر از انقلاب اسلامی سال 1979 الان هست تمسک میکنین ولی و میگین این ظرفیت ها وجود داره، ولی در حوزه علمیه نجف دقیقاً چنین چیزی وجود نداره یا چنین نوع کارکردی رو نمیبینیم. این فایده این مطلب که شما برای شیعیان چنین عقلانیتی تصویر بکنین و بگین که هنوزم این بالقوه است در ذهن افراد هست. خب میتونه در ذهن افراد اهل سنت هم چنین چیزی باشه. من متوجه این مشکل نمیشم. اگه بتونین برای ما تشریح بکنین خیلی ممنون میشم. سوالم از آقای صبحانی این هست که مدرسه کوفه رو شما از دوره‌های بعدی مدرسه‌های شیعی مثل بغداد و حله جدا کردین و اهمیت او رو خیلی در دو جهت نشون دادین. یکی این که خیلی اصیل‌تر هست چون به زمان ائمه نزدیک‌تره، و دوم این که اونها به مسئله‌های جدی حاضر در اتمسفر خودشون در جامعه اسلامی توجه داشتن و به همه اونها سعی می‌کردن پاسخ بدن، پاسخ‌های کلامی، پاسخ‌های فقهی. و به همین جهت ما شیعه پژوهان گاهی اشتباه می‌کنیم که شیعه اصیل رو مدرسه بغداد می‌شماریم یا مدرسه حله می‌شماریم و متأخرها رو جدی می‌گیریم. من می‌خوام با شما مخالفت کنم در یک بخش کوچکی با یک کیس استادی، و اون این که به نظر میاد مدرسه کوفه در عین اینکه اصیل هست و قدیمی‌تر هست، اما در حوزه خاص مطالعات قرآنی یا مسئله‌های تفسیری یا برخی از دغدغه‌های کلامی به مهمترین مسئله‌های موجود و حاضر در جامعه اسلامی در مدرسه‌های اسلامی اهل سنت به خصوص توجه نداره و نداشته، و ما اینها رو بعدها در بغداد می‌بینیم، بعدها اینها رو در مدرسه‌های شیعی تفسیر متأخر می‌بینیم. مخالفتم با شما فقط در این تعمیمی است که شما می‌فرمایید. مسئله‌های مهم کلام معتزلی در دوره‌ای که ما شیعیان کوفه رو تو قرن سوم و دوم میشناسیم، اونچنان که در قرن چهارم و پنجم در بغداد و جاهای دیگه میبینیم نیست. میزانش، اهمیتش، پاسخگویی به اونها، درگیر شدن جدی با اونها وجود نداره. و از اون ور مسئله قرآنی، مثلا بزنم مسائل قرآنی، مثلا اون مقدار توجه به اختلاف قرائات که در مدرسه های اهل سنت وجود داره در قرن دوم و قرن سوم در مسئله variant reading، برای مترجم میگم، اختلاف قرائات، یا توجه به استفاده از لغت، شعر جاهلی، سینتکس، نحو، مسئله های اینچنینی در تفسیر قرآن، در تفسیر قرآن شیعه کوفه ما نمیبینیم. در تفسیر علی ابن ابراهیم قمی که همون کوفه است در واقع، در فرات کوفی نمیبینیم، در عیاشی، در خراسان، اینا همه متأثر از مدرسه کوفه هستند. یعنی اینکه در این چنین مسئله هایی اونها به مطالب جدی حاضر در جامعه خودشون گویی توجه نمی کنن. من قدمت رو میپذیرم، اصالت رو میپذیرم، ولی تعمیم رو نمیتونم بپذیرم. عذرخواهی میکنم سوالم خیلی طولانی شد، ولی یواش گفتم که مترجم بتونه ترجمه کنه.
جواب بدیم. بله، من به نظرم پاسخ به سوال شما دو سوال بود، دو تا نکته داشت. در ضمن صحبت‌های من به صورت مکرر گفته شد هیچگاه نباید بالقوه را به ما یکون فی الذهن شما توصیف کنید. من گفتم در منابع، تصریح کردم، در منابع شیعی و بخشی از ادبیات و نگاه‌ها و رویکردهای شیعی و بخشی از فتاوای شیعه این عقلانیت سر برآورده است، اما چنان نیست که سایه و چتر تعمیم انداخته باشه و به مثابه یک روش فعال جاری باشه. اما هست، نمیخوام بگم هر چه در ذهن من است همونه، اصلا این چنین نیست. برای در مقاله من مثال آوردم. این یه مطلب. مطلب دوم در ارتباط با اهل سنت این که ادعاست، من سه تا سنخ عقلانیت، یکی العقلانیت الاسلامیه المشترکه بین السنت و شیعه، عربی میگم تا ایشون هم سریعتر، در عقلانیت، یا اینقدر بلدن عقلانیت مشترک بین شیعه و سنی روشن، العقلانیت المشترک بین السنت و شیعه، این زیاد است، من در اون مقام نیستم. یکی العقلانیات السنیه، یعنی اهل سنت یه عقلانیت هایی دارن که الان مثلا فرض کنیم مقاصد الشریعه ما به اون شکل، با اون شدت و حدت نداریم و زیاد هست، حالا بخوایم مثلا. یکی هم عقلانیت شیعی. من عقلانیت‌های اختصاصی شیعه رو گفتم و هیچگاه هم در مقام اثبات این که این مشروع است، یعنی بحث‌های جای دیگه داره، من فقط دارم توصیف میکنم، یعنی عقلانیت و شیعه داره. بنابراین یه چیزی است که بالیده است و وجود داره و میتونم من 10 مثال برای هر کدوم بیارم که کجا و کجا. یه نکته هم ایشون پرسیدن، آقای دکتر صبحانی فرمودن که یه بخشی از سوال خواهرمون این بود که چرا قبلا شروع نشده. اصولا بحث فلسفه علم امر حادث، یه امر جدید است. ما هم بر اساس این حرکت آمدیم و نگاه از بیرونی به علم رو شروع کردیم و این از فراورده های اوست. البته این به آن معنا نیست که در طول تاریخ فقیهانی و اصولیانی نبودند، چه از سنی و چه از شیعه، نگاه فلسفه فقهی یا فلسفه اصولی نداشتند، اما به مثابه یک علم دارای حدود و قلمرو نبوده. اخیراً شروع شده و اینا از برکات فلسفه علم است. نه سیاست در آن دخالت ورزیده است و نه عامل دیگری.
اجازه درس کنم. بله، خیلی متشکرم از تذکری که دادید. به نظرم نکته خوبی بود. من اولا مدرسه کوفه رو مطلق نمیدونم، یعنی به عنوان چون اولین مدرسه کلامی امامی بهش نگاه میکنم، اتفاقا معتقدم نقص‌های زیادی هم داره. اون نقص‌هاش هم مهمه و شاید اگر بغدادی‌ها یه بخش زیادی از میراث کوفه رو نادیده گرفتن، به دلیل همون نقطه ضعف‌هایی که حس می‌کردن در این میراث وجود داره. من همه عرضم این بود که در مقابل این دو تئوری که بیشتر هم در دنیای غرب نسبت به خاستگاه شیعه وجود داره، این رو خواستم تذکر بدم و بگم به حساب آوردن کوفه خیلی تحلیل‌ها رو تغییر میده و توجه بدم به این که ما یه ظرفیت بزرگ مطالعاتی در مدرسه کوفه داریم که در پژوهش‌های جدید اصلاً بهش توجهی نمیشه. یه نکته بود. نکته دوم خواستم بگم چون مدرسه نخستین امامی است، تأکید اصلی بر ویژگی هاست. من چون فرصت نداشتم اشاره کنم، من روی تعبیر جامعه اعتقادی یعنی Theological Society توی نوشتام تأکید کردم. گفتم اتفاقا در دوره کوفه دوره تمایزگذاری است، فاصله گذاری است. یعنی شیعه بعد از یک دوره اندماج به دنبال این است که هویت کلامی خودش رو نشون بده و برای که نشون بده هویت کلامی رو باید بگه فرق من با دیگران چیست. این است که تعبیر کردم در مقاله به امتیازات یا ممیزه های کلامی کوفه. شاید به همین، من هیچ وقت نگفتم اونا به همه مسائل پاسخ دادن، اونا به مسئله های پاسخ دادن که بتونه جامعه اعتقادی امامیه رو شکل بده. مسئله کوفیان اصلا مسائل مطالعات تطبیقی نیست، این مسئله بغداده. چون از اینجا من میخوام بگم چرا در تفسیر کوفیان مسئله اختلاف قرائت نپرداختن، چرا نرفتن دنبال تفاوت‌های تفسیری خودشون، محتوایی خودشون با دیگران حل کنن. اتفاقا ما در کوفه هرچه تأکید هست بر امتیازات قرآنی شیعه است. اون میگه آقا من قرائت اهل بیت رو قبول دارم و سایر قرائت ها رو قبول نداره. من تفسیر اهل بیت از محتوای قرآن رو قبول دارم. تفسیرهایی که مثال زدید همه دنبال اینه، چون میخواد امتیاز رو نشون بده و میخواد بگه فاصله من از دیگران چیست. وقتی ما به بغداد میرسیم، بغداد نقطه درگیری امامیه با دیگرانه. اینجاست که امامیه مسئله جدید پیدا میکنه. اگر کوفیان به مسائل مشترک خودشون با اهل سنت نمیپردازن در بحث تفسیر، اتفاقاً به دلیل است که اصلا مسئله اونا نیست. چه زمان مسئله اونا میشه؟ زمانی که میان در بغداد جریان معتزله هست، زیدی ها هستن، اهل حدیث هست و امامیه هست. اینجاست که باید امامیه موضع خودش در مقابل قرائت‌های دیگه، در مقابل تفسیرهای دیگه نشون بده. من یه نکته فقط عرض کنم چون ممکن دی فرصت نشه. اینو من کم گذاشتم چون وقت نبود. این تئوری مدرسه کلامی کوفه امروز دو فایده بزرگ برای شیعه پژوهی معاصر داره. یک، در نظریه‌ای که امثال آقای پروفسور مادرونگ و شاگردانشون دنبال میکنن و دائم به دنبال این هستند که یک تفسیر معتزلی از امامیه ارائه بکنن، این نظریه بدیل این تئوری است. یعنی یه بخشی از تفکر امامیه رو به رخ میکشه و نشون میده که در مطالعات دیده نشده و اگر این بیاد کنار مطالعات این بزرگان به نظرم خیلی مقدار تفاوت. نکته دوم و مهمتر تفسیری است که امروز در غرب داره از شیعه نخستین به عنوان قلوب مطرح میشه. این خیلی خطرناکه. تفسیر مدرسه کوفه رو ما معرفی میکنیم به عنوان یک مدرسه عقلانی تا نشون بدیم میراث اهل قلوب در کوفه یک میراث فرعی است و نباید کسانی امروز در غرب با تمسک به اون میراث اهل قلوب میراث اصلی کوفه رو بازخوانی کنن. این نظریه میتونه حتی نسبت به اونام یه نوع پاسخی باشه.
I'm sure we'll continue this, but we can continue over coffee. So we'll go to a coffee break, and thank you to all the panelists.
Thank you very much. Hello again. This is Morimoto from Japan. I'm going to chair this panel on courses and exchange of ideas of the seminary. We have three distinguished speakers on this panel who don't need any introduction because they are so famous, each of them. So I will just do the job of timekeeping. Here is a bell you find at the reception of the hotel. In Japan, we use at academic meetings to let the speaker know how many minutes they have talked. At the 15th minute, I will ring this once. Each speaker will have 20 minutes, and our first speaker is Professor Liaquat Takim from McMaster University, Canada. And the title of his paper is Ijtihad and Usul al-Fiqh, Historical and Contemporary Manifestations. Please, Professor Takim.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. In Canada, we have more subtle ways of telling a speaker that his time is up. We just switch off the mic. In any case, historically, ijtihad was not practiced by the early Shias. In fact, there was no need for ijtihad during the times of the Imams. As a matter of fact, the Sunnis talked of ijtihad much earlier than the Shias did, simply because for them, revelation had stopped after the Prophet. At this point in time, it is important to remember that ijtihad was equated with qiyas and ray. And therefore, even though Imams were often called faqih and alim, but never mujtahid, at least not in my understanding. Yet, as we are aware, Kashi tells us of so many incidents whereby there were what we may call independent-minded Shias, the disciples of the Imams, whom I have called the Rijal in my book, who often disputed and even with the Imams and differed amongst themselves. That, of course, is a separate issue. However, after the Ghaiba, there was a need felt to go beyond the text. In fact, the first person who shows some kind of what we may call ijtihad-mindedness was Ibn Aqil. Before his time, the narration and interpretation of traditions was the norm. There was little, if any, rational element involved. There were few derivative principles had been formed at this point in time. Then, of course, comes the time of Ibn Junayd, who elaborated some of the principles of ijtihad. However, we can only talk of a rehabilitation of ijtihad during the time of Muhaqqiq al-Hilli. He proposed the adoption of ijtihad as a hermeneutical device in the extrapolation of the law. It is important to remember that the way that Hilli, that is Muhakkik al-Hilli, defined ijtihad, it was not some kind of random haphazard project. Rather, it was what we may call ijtihad bin Nasr rather than ijtihad bin Ray. The ijtihad that he proposed was based on certain methodological tools derived primarily on the text. In other words, to go beyond the text while remaining faithful to the spirit of the text. Hilli, that is Muhakkik, realized that he could not insist on attaining qat' or certitude in every legal source. Therefore, ijtihad, in his definition, was an effort to establish the probability of the truth based on a method that was validated by the Sharia, that is the lawgiver. He distinguished between what we may call the speculative component, that is zan or dhan in Arabic, and the qiyas and rai on the other. Therefore, he defined ijtihad as valid dhan, knowledge based on probability, not arbitrary speculation or analogy. Therefore, ijtihad was no longer equated with rai and qiyas. It connoted a scholarly effort in discovering the rulings of the Sharia. And then, I go and talk about usul al-fiqh, but in the interest of time, you want me to increase my voice? You want me to speak faster or slower? I'm looking at the interpretation. Okay, so maybe ask him to give you more time then. No, okay, I'll try and go slower. And will you say slower and faster? Slower and louder. Okay, in any case. In the interest of time, therefore, I will not talk about usul al-fiqh too much. I talk very briefly about Sheikh al-Ansari and his contribution. As we know, he elaborated on doubt, that is shak. And through his efforts, he explored the various possibilities of doubtful cases and expanded the ability of jurists to rule on instances in which they were in an epistemological state of uncertainty as a result of the lack of indicators. Ansari basically devised a method of ruling when low probability of determining God's will. And he talks of usul al-amaliyya, and he amplified the discussion of usul al-amaliyya, whereby he expanded the sphere of Shia law. In many ways, contemporary usul al-fiqh was born with him. I now want to talk about what we may call contemporary usul al-fiqh and the issues that I have with it. I see a kind of a dichotomy between what I call a text-based versus reason-based ijtihad. There's very little discussion, as far as I can see, on the ethical ramifications of the fatwa issued in contemporary juridical manuals. In many ways, fiqh has been divorced from ethics, and therefore you have many fatwas on slavery even today and child marriages, rulings against non-Muslims, which are often discriminatory, women, testimony of women, child custody, women being judges, and so on. It is important to remember at this point that in Shiism, at least, law and ethics are intertwined. God's law must have a moral underpinning. Immoral precepts cannot be attributed to a moral God. If God is moral, the law must have a moral framework around it. Reason becomes a powerful hermeneutical tool in the interpretation of Islamic jurisprudence. In fact, according to some scholars, at least, or what we may call reformers, this is my latest project on reformation of Islamic law, more specifically Shia law. Reason can override textual proof, especially when the latter is in conflict with the former. When there is a conflict between reason and text, which do we give preference to? Statements in the sacred sources, they contravene commonly acknowledged values like Siratul Uqala'iyya, or Bana al-Uqala as we call it, on issues like freedom of conscience or the equal worth of all human beings, on issues like women's testimony. Such statements can be challenged and overruled if reason dictates otherwise. For example, the current major scholar in Qum, Ayatollah Makarim Shirazi, he, for example, says that prepubescent sex that is sex with children, or to be married, even to be married to infants. Even now, should slow down? I can do that, but then, all right, I guess I'll just stop whenever he tells me to stop then. It'll be what we'll call incomplete paper to be continued tomorrow, okay? Okay, sorry, I'll slow down. You want me to start all over again?
Yeah, slow down, please.
All right, okay.
That's the reason of working.
Okay, I was rushing simply because I have so much to cover and limited time. The current contemporary major scholar in Qum, Ayatollah Shirazi, he prohibits, for example, child marriages or even a marriage with an infant, simply because, not because of any text. In fact, the text talks the opposite. He says it is morally offensive to human reason. Without any textual proof, he rules on the impermissibility, that it is not allowed, of the act. Why? Because reason provides the moral grounds for prohibiting this form of sexual pleasure. Similarly, contrary to what Shia law says, Makarim Shirazi says that mut'ah with prostitutes is against the spirit of the Quran because it endangers the salvation of the community. More of it is morally wrong. So, however, one could argue that despite its rationalistic outlook, there is no distinction between modern Shia law and the thinking of other schools of law when it comes to reason. Aql, I would suggest, is as irrelevant in the inference of Sharia laws in Shiism as it is in other schools. Traditional jurists, however, that is those who believe that textual proof should override reason, would argue that we need proofs that are based on qata, that is certitude. Reason cannot guarantee the correct solution had been reached or that it reflects the will of the lawgiver. In other words, that reason must be based on proper grounding, and unless we are sure that aql, or what we rule by reason, is been validated by the lawgiver, we cannot use reason. Moral judgments, in their view, that is the traditional ulama, are only authoritative if they provide certitude that they have been validated by the lawgiver, what we may call zann mu'tabar. If an indicator does not provide certainty in itself and is only conjectural, that is zann, its authority depends upon establishing a certain validation for the permissibility of its employment. To put it differently, without textual proof, we cannot depend on reason in inferring Sharia precepts. I hope this is slow enough now. And because of this, that we find that in Shia Islam, at least until very recently, issues such as Masalih Mursala, Maqasid Sharia, and Siratul Uqala have not been generally accepted or have been downplayed simply because they are not validated in the eyes of traditional jurists by the lawgiver. However, these jurists ignore the rational and moral principles, even if the rational community, that is what we may call the community based on reason, agrees on their enforcement. Traditions are accepted, Khabarul Wahid primarily, they are accepted even if they are immoral. And therefore, we see the issuance of edicts that violate common understanding of ethical judgments. Slavery, sex or marriages with infants are issued due to the number of traditions that endorse such institutions. I would even argue and go so far as to say that there is a disjuncture between the moral and the juristic parameters of Islam. At the moral plane, we are told that we cannot cheat, we cannot lie, we cannot deceive anybody, even non-Muslims. And yet, at the juridical level, the rulings are distinctly discriminatory. We must save Muslim lives, but it's not mandatory to save non-Muslim lives. We can receive from, but not give body organs to non-Muslims. Some have even argued that it is permissible to steal from non-Muslims. In many cases, jurists prefer traditions, even if Sirah, based on common rationality, rule otherwise. To put it differently, some would rather prefer an immoral Khabar al-Wahid over a moral Sirah. It is also important to remember at this juncture that urf, that is Sirah or what we call custom, is an important device in deriving rulings. This has not been used extensively, simply because it lacks, at least in the eyes of many, the validation from the lawgiver. And I think the point that I'm making here is important to remember, that historically, Islamic law was formulated by not inscribing scripture or tradition into the institution, rather by endorsing pre-existing practices and customs that were neither mentioned in the sacred texts or the sources. In other words, the historical experience of Muslims shows that apart from the ibadat, acts of worship, for an act to become Islamic, it did not have to originate from the text. Rather, we had to show merely that it was not in violation of the text. So a lot of, as we are aware, a lot of the ahkam that Muslims use are what we call ahkam imza'i. That is, those ahkam, those rulings that were endorsed by Islam, they were not actually established by Islam. They were pre-Islamic practices. And as I like to say, that pre-Islamic does not mean un-Islamic. So the Khilafat as an institution itself is one of them. To put it differently then, Urf includes the practices of non-Muslims too. The laws that we have of mahr, of diya, laws regulating marriages are primarily imzai, in some cases with some modification. Contracts of purchase and sale, discharge of debts, limited partnership, etc. That urf has to be based on the practices of what we may call reasonable people, people of common reason, and can be utilized in legislating contemporary laws. The law does not cover every domain. There are large sections where the law is silent. How am I doing with time?
5 more minutes, 6 more minutes.
I didn't hear the bell yet, so that's a good. So there is a section for the jurists, of course, will know, Mintaq al-Firaq, that is an area which is open, which can be legislated. And it is here that, jurists like Jafar Subhani says that urf is an important reference point in Mintaq al-Firaq. Now we have issues which were never covered in the past, issues like copyrights, for example. He also argues that statues and paintings, which were at one time viewed by local customs as objects of veneration and worship, can now be okayed because they are no longer used or seen as objects of worship. Rather, they are displayed for aesthetic or artistic purposes. And therefore, especially for those living in the diaspora in the West, juristic opinions on topics such as giving and receiving interest to lending institutions, swearing allegiance, I heard that, swearing allegiance to non-Muslim governments, working for a government's secret service, civic duties, sale of shares and bonds, and so on, DNA. These need to be revised and relooked. And finally, in the last few minutes, we must deconstruct the discriminatory religious discourse in the light of the Quranic insistence on justice and equity. Yes, revelation is from God, but the socio-political context of that revelation is culturally specific. I say that God, for me as a Muslim, the revelation is from God, but the society is not divine. There's nothing sacred about a rule which says that you can have slavery or you can have sex or marry an infant and the child custody must go, the child must go to the father after a certain age. There's nothing sacred about that. This was due to prevailing socio-political conditions. Unfortunately, we treat culturally specific laws as immutable and universal. Our valuation of women are bound to 7th century culture when it comes to diya, when it comes to testimony, guardianship, inheritance. We cannot use laws which are based on 7th century urf and treat them as infinite and eternal. Otherwise, we will have to accept slavery today too. 7th century urf and practices that posited women to be inherently deficient, naqisul aql, are deemed to be immutable. And important 21st century North America, where ironically women are far more educated than men in many cases. Laws that were legislated based on Urf in Arabia are imposed in North America today. When we look at what I'm calling for a revision of Usul al-Fiqh, making it more ethical and more rational in its outlook, I would say that this methodology will change our understanding on various issues like child custody, women's inheritance, whether a woman can be a judge, guardianship, women's ability to give unilateral divorce. I want to end with this particular statement that we cannot limit Allah to 7th century Arabia because an eternal God speaks eternally. We need to go beyond the language of the Quran to the spirit of the Quran. Thank you. Sorry for going too fast initially.
You still have 2 minutes. Well, I'm reluctant to tell speakers to slow down because, well, we didn't know that there would be this simultaneous interpretation. So each speaker has prepared their material for the 20 minutes in full. So if I ask the speakers to slow down, that will mean some, extra time, necessary extra time. But I'm sure that the two speakers with balance strike a balance between these dilemma, and hopefully we will keep on schedule. Our second speaker is Professor Morteza Kariminiya from Encyclopedia Islamica Foundations. And the title of his talk is A New Paradigm in the History of Shia Tafsir, Al-Wazir al-Maghribi and his Al-Masabih fi Tafsir al-Quran. I understand that he is going to use PowerPoint, so I have to move with my watch and bell. Okay. Please, Professor Kariminiya.
Thank you. Okay, my friend Zaidi and Imami asked me to give my presentation in Persian, but unfortunately I wrote the text in English and it's very difficult to say something about this topic in Persian for me at the moment. So for saving the time, I go through my text in English. Actually, my lecture is about a very small topic in the history of tafsir. It's about the changing the direction of Shiite tafsir at the middle of the 5th century, Islamic century of Hijrah, and to introduce an unknown Shiite figure, Shiite exeget, Shiite mufassir. His name is Abu al-Qasim Hussein bin Ali, known al-Wazir al-Maghribi, and his tafsir, the importance of his status. Before introducing al-Wazir al-Maghribi, it's necessary for me to give a distinction between the 4 distinct period of tafsir in the history, in the long history of Shiite tafsir, so that in the first part of my presentation, I go through this important issue. In an article I published some years ago in Persian and Arabic, and not, unfortunately, yet in English, I have explained that the history of Shia tafsir can be divided into 4 distinct periods. These 4 periods, or better to say 4 paradigms, include the following. I don't know if it works. How does it work? Oh. It's okay. Maybe is it concerned to my laptop or changing my laptop to the others? It's okay. 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 It works.
Yeah.
By me or by you? It's by you. Yeah. Okay. This is forward. Okay. These four paradigms include the following. First one, the selective or ma'sur tafsir, up to the 4th century, that is before Sheikh Tusi. The second one, Tusi school of comprehensive tafsir, which one may also called at the Buid exegetical school. The third one, the Akhbari exegesis of Safavid era. And the last one, contemporary or modern Shiite tafsir. Each period is distinguished by characteristics reflecting a specific set of social, religious, and political conditions. This period bunched together with various scholars and exegetes applying relatively common principles and methods. Scholars in each regime work in a similar way for the most part, followed general unwritten rules in understanding the text of the Quran, and employed established interpretative methods. In the first period, the exegesis of the first period were mostly written in a closed atmosphere and solely for a Shiite audience. They mainly consisted of traditions of the Shiite Imams. The Quranic commentaries, the Quranic exegesis were selective, dealing only with some verses of the Quran. They were not concerned about the strong negative reaction from the opponent. They cited traditions sometimes. They cited traditions implying the corruption of the Quran, mas'ala tahrif. Similarly, traditions can be found in their works that condemn some of the early caliphs or some of the companions, Sahaba. They rarely show any interest in the sort of rationalistic theological discussions that became common beginning with the 2nd century, that is, those displaying Mu'tazilite, Ahl al-Hadith, or Ash'ari to some extent, Ahl al-Hadith or Maturidi concerns. Furthermore, they placed no importance on citing Sunni variant readings, اختلاف القراءات, or discussing grammar, syntax, etymology, philology, or evidence from pre-Islamic poetry. Exegetes of this period, such as As-Sayyari, Furat al-Kufi, Ali ibn Ibrahim al-Qummi, al-Ayyashi, and to some extent al-Nu'mani, live in the late 3rd century. This era coincided with the final evolutionary phase of tradition-based Sunni exegesis, Tafsir al-Ma'sur bil-Riwaya, represented by At-Tabari, for example, or Ibn Abi Hatim al-Razi. Although beginning with the 3rd century, some exegesis delving into the literary and philological details appeared on the scene, such as Abu Ubaidah Majaz al-Quran, al-Kisai Ma'an al-Quran, al-Farraz Ma'an al-Quran, and Ibn Qutayba Ta'wil Mushkil al-Quran. It can be said that the tradition-based Shi'i exegesis, Tafsir al-Ma'sur Bain al-Shia, of this period completely ignored Sunni exegetical works dealing with the literary, etymological, or grammatical issues. These early Shi'i exegetes were preoccupied with the important doctrinal differences between the Shi'i and Sunnis. And the only opinions they expressed were about those issues. Their main concern was collecting the exegetical legacy of the Shia Imams in the context of serious theological polemics between the Sunnis and Shias. Authors of these exegeses mostly did not live in major Sunni cities, but rather in such places such as Qum, Kufa, and Khurasan. The second period started with the authorship of At-Tusi's At-Tibyan, Tibyan fi Tafsir al-Quran, in the middle of the 5th century. At-Tusi's exegesis was written in a pluralistic environment of the 5th century's Baghdad, which had brought together for about a century Shia scholars and Mu'tazili theologians, as well as Sunni jurists and exegetes. Aside from the Akhbari exegetes of the Safavid era, the majority of Shia exegetes followed the model of At-Tibyan, either directly or through At-Tabrisi's Majma' al-Bayan. At-Tusi was the first Shia scholars to write a complete exegesis of the Quran. He reduced citations of narrations from Shia Imams significantly and completely omitted traditions suggestive of textual falsification of the Quran or censure of the caliphs, Zamm al-Sahaba. He also cited sayings of the companions, Sahaba, and the followers, Tabi'un, from Tafsir al-Tabari. In addition, he extensively cited Mu'tazilite theological views, either endorsing or refuting them. His work is replete with discussions of grammar, etymology, philology, variant reading, and pre-Islamic poems, which are absent in the first period. Totally absent in the first period. This approach may be considered a comprehensive one in the interpretation of the Quran, one that includes citations of the exegetical hadith, occasion of revelation. Occasion of revelation means asbab al-nuzul, philological issues, literary matters, theological controversies, and etc. For the most part, all the exegeses that came after him followed this pattern with mirror changes. For example, Abu al-Futuh al-Razi, Amin al-Islam al-Tabrisi, Ibn Shahrashub, al-Qutb al-Rawandi, al-Shaybani, Faz al-Miqdad, and even al-Shahid al-Awwal. It has been generally accepted among the scholars, both Islamic and Western, that the second period has begun when Sheikh At-Tusi wrote his Tafsir al-Tibyan in Baghdad and Najaf. His school was adopted by his followers, and a century later, after Majma' al-Bayan by At-Tabrisi, it has become the main and standard Shi'i method of tafsir up to now, except for the time of the Safavid, the Akhbari method of tafsir. But the main point of my presentation is that nearly 50 years before At-Tusi, we have a very important figure in Shi'i history of tafsir that was unknown up to now, that could be considered as a beginner of this period. During my studies on At-Tusi's Tibyan, I came across to unknown Shi'i figure from which lots of opinion have been quoted by At-Tusi in his tafsir. His name is Abu al-Qasim al-Hussein bin Ali, known as Al-Wazir al-Maghribi, Surprisingly, all we know about his exegetical ideas came from at-Tibyan. ریشه تمام اندیشه های تفسیری او رو میشه در تبیان یافت. ما فقط از طریق تبیان. Exegetical means here تفسیری. All the other Shiite exegetes, such as At-Tabrasi and Abul Futuh al-Razi, just quote him through At-Tusi's Tibyan. None of the Shia scholars other than At-Tusi has visited the text of his tafsir, the manuscript of his tafsir. Even in the contemporary decades, we have Ihsan Abbas, who wrote a very comprehensive monograph on this figure. The title of his book is Al-Wazir al-Maghribi, Abu al-Qasim al-Hussein bin Ali al-Sha'ir al-Nathir al-Tha'ir. But in this work, he was unaware of the existence of some rare manuscript of the Tafsir al-Maghribi, and he believed them to be lost. I tried more and more. Let's talk a little about this figure. Originally born in Halab, in Aleppo, he immigrated to Cairo with his father. His father was firstly a wazir, a minister at the court of Hamdanid, Bani Hamdan in Aleppo, in Halab. And then all of them immigrated to Cairo. And then in Cairo, his father was a minister of the Fatimid dynasty. And at the beginning of the 5th century, his father, his uncle, and his two brothers was killed by Al-Hakim Billah, the famous Fatimid ruler. And then he fled to Palestine and lived between Palestine and Mecca. And after that, from Palestine to Baghdad, for the short part, he was a minister of the Buid dynasty in Baghdad, and then immigrate to Mosul, and he passed away in the city of Maya Faraqin in South Turkey. This is our figure, a short, very short biography of our exegetes, the Mufassir. I tried more and more, and by finding 4 manuscripts from his tafsir entitled Al-Masabih fi Tafsir al-Quran, one in Fez, one in Cairo, one in Riyadh, and the last one in Dublin. This is from Riyadh, his tafsir. The second one from Chester Beatty in Dublin. The cataloger of John Arbery has falsely attributed the text of his tafsir to Ibn Kaysan al-Nahwi, which is wrong. The third one from Fez, Jami al-Qarawiyyin, and this is also from Jami al-Qarawiyyin. And the last one, and best one is from Al-Azhariya in Cairo. Okay. I started editing the text by analyzing and studying the text of his method of tafsir. Abu al-Qasim al-Hussein ibn Ali, also known as Al-Wazir al-Maghribi, was a Shia scribe, minister, literary expert, poet, and Quranic exegete. Most of his short life was spent on political, governmental affairs for the Fatimid in Egypt, Buid in Baghdad, and Hamdanid in Aleppo courts. The only Quranic commentary remaining from him, namely Al-Masabih fi Tafsir al-Quran, has yet to be edited and published. Some unique characteristics of his tafsir, or better to say, the most important methods and devices of Al-Masabih, nearly all of which were adopted half a century later by Sheikh Tusi in his Tafsir at-Tibyan, are as follows. The first one is defending from Shiite doctrine in Kalam and Fiqh, for example, in the issues of wuzu, khums, anfal, mut'a, temporal marriage, raj'a, and the others. Second one, reducing the number of traditions which go back to the Shi'i Imams or Shi'i scholars in comparison with the exegeted in the first paradigm, in the first period. The third, citing the Sunni exegetical tradition and sayings on the authority of companions and followers, as-Sahaba wa Tabi'un, mostly from Tafsir al-Tabari. Fourth, citing the Sunni literary exegetical works, such as Ma'an al-Quran, Majaz al-Quran. These are النصوص اللغوية حول القرآن. Paying attention to the philology, Arabic grammar, quoting pre-Islamic poetry, which are absent in the first century, in the first period. 6, citing lots of Sira and Maghazi traditions, according to Sunni sources, such as the works of Zuhri, Ibn al-Hisham, Ibn Ishaq, and al-Waqidi. The 7th, analyzing the theological issues of the day with reference to the Mu'tazili tradition, especially those of Abu Muslim al-Isfahani, Abu Ali Jubba'i, Abu al-Hasan al-Rumani, and Ibn al-Akhshid. And the last one, and very strange, quoting the biblical tradition directly by referring to the Old and the New Testament. This is very strange. Yeah. This is my natijagiri. Yeah. It should be noted that Al-Wazir al-Maghribi in his Al-Masabih fi Tafsir al-Quran was the only exeget from the classical period, both Sunni and Shi'i, to study and quote the Jewish Bible, the text of Jewish Bible, and the New Testament directly. He quoted far fewer Israeliyat than his predecessors, and instead frequently quoted Jewish and Christian scripture directly, giving even chapter titles. For example, he says in Al-Injil, Yohanna, we can read such and so, and comparing the text of Al-Injil to the text of the Quran, sometimes refuting, sometimes accepting, sometimes just to show the differences between these two texts. This practice thought common in the modern era, for example, in Tafsir Nemuna by Ayatollah Makarim, or Tafsir Tasnim, or Tafsir al-Mizan by Allama Tabatabai. We can find lots of these quotations. In our modern period, it's very, very common. But at the time of Al-Wazir al-Maghribi, it's very so strange. The next exeget to adopt such a similar approach would appear nearly 5 centuries later. Al-Biqai. Al-Biqai in his Tafsir Nazm al-Durar adopted such a method. So, the final sentence is that now we can say by certain that the beginner of the new method in the Shiite Tafsir was not a Tusi in the middle of the 5th century, but Al-Wazir al-Maghribi at the end of the 4th century. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Karimiyya. And I'm sorry for pressing you to keep time. And I'm sure that the speed was ideal, and so you had sufficiently good simultaneous interpretation. Now we are moving to the third presentation of this panel. Our third speaker is Professor Yanis Esot from the Institute of Ismaili Studies, London. And the title of his presentation is Transcendent Wisdom as a Method of Exegesis or Sadra's commentary on Kulaini's Kitab al-Kafi revisited. Okay, if you're ready.
Abu Jafar al-Kulaini, his Kitab al-Kafi represents probably the most authoritative collection of the 12 Shi hadiths. This work, which took Kulaini around 20 years to complete, consists of 3 parts as it's known. Usuls, or primary rules, roots or principles, furu, secondary rules or branches, and Rauda, so garden or miscellaneous matters. The Usul deals with theology, including prophecy and imamat, the furu with fiqh, and Rauda with, well, I said, various matters of general character. Sadra's commentary, which was written, I believe, somewhere between 1625 and 1634. Not that sure that will be possible. Deals only with 3 of 8 books of the Usul part, namely Kitab al-Aql wal Fada'il al-Ilm, Kitab al-Tawhid, and Kitab al-Hujjah. The commentary to the last one, Kitab al-Hujjah, is unfinished. And like his Quranic tafsir, in terms of its method and contents, Sadra's commentary of al-Kafi is quite heavily influenced by al-Ghazali. This seems to have been a conscious and calculated strategy for Sadra to follow the path of wide generalizations and approximations the path trodden by Ghazali, but to place these in the context of 12 Shiism, if or as far as possible. In the absence of detailed account of Sadra's life, it is difficult to establish the immediate cause of the composition of this commentary. However, in all likelihood, it is based on the lecture notes of Sadra's classes on exegesis of Kulaini's work.
I give you 3 more minutes, so please, can you slow down a little bit?
بهتره که من خلاصه اجمالی به فارسی خودم بدهم تو مطمئن نیستم که مترجم میتواند به نتیجه مثبت ولو سخت بکشه به نتیجه مثبت برسه. In the absence of detailed account of Sadra's life, it is difficult to establish immediate causes of composition of commentary. But I believe he taught this, Kulaini's al-Kafi, and I believe he taught it, well, apparently in his later years at Imam Kuli Khan Madrasa in Shiraz, and mostly what we would call today, most likely to undergraduate students. Judging from the relative simplicity of the discourse, although a few passages deal with a few, but not so many. Passages deal with sophisticated philosophical or theological issues. The majority of the population of Iran was converted to Shiism just 2 or 3 generations ago, and the spirit of enthusiasm, of Shi'i zeal, at times when Sadra taught it, was quite well felt in the masses, and it was supported also by state propaganda. And hence, well, it was in a way, I believe, a sort of vogue to study the Shi'i hadith, seeking in the sayings of the Imams the ultimate guidance to the solution of all problems. From the remark in the introduction in which Sadra complains about the dominance of the bats, hating the lights of wisdom and philosophical demonstration, comparing their approach to the hadith, these bats, with that of the Hanbalites, we can tentatively conclude that this widespread interest in the Shi'i tradition, in the overwhelming majority of cases, unfortunately, did not go beyond the literal and exoteric meaning of the text of the hadith, and as such, this approach was not acceptable to Sadra. The discussion, which from the former point of view Sadra's discussion follows the structure of the books and chapters of Al-Kafi, and within that framework, the content of the relevant hadith is dominated by a few recurrent principal themes. The nature and manifestation of God's unity, His essential and active attributes, creation and origination of the world and its constituents, the modulation of existence, the substantial motion as the main feature of the corporeal and psychic world, human knowledge and its salvatory role, prophethood and imamat. And following Ghazali, Sadra distinguishes 4 degrees of God's unification. First, acknowledging God's unity by the tongue only, the unification of the hypocrites. Second, acknowledging His unity by the tongue and heart, the unification of common believers. Third, witnessing God's unity through unveiling, kashf, and demonstration. And this is such unification, such unifier, it's the third case, sees that multiple things come forth from the one. And this is the unification of those that are close to God, al-muqarribin. And fourth, seeking only one individual in the realm of existence, in which, in terms of the tasawwuf, its annihilation in the unification, if we can put it this way, al-fana fi tawhid. The only noticeable difference between Ghazali's and Sadra's accounts, this consists, in this case, that Sadra adds demonstration, burhan to kashf. So Sadra adds burhan to kashf, and that's his sole addition in this case, as an alternative method of unification of the third level. This addition implies that logical reasoning, like mystical intuition, can point to the uniqueness of the source of existence. However, it falls short of providing the unifier with a direct vision of one existence. So, Sadr divides God's attributes into affirmative and negative. He further divides the affirmative attributes into essential and active, or alternatively into true and relational, idafi. The essential attributes have no other referent except God's essence, from which they differ only as concepts, whereas each of the active attributes refers to at least one external existent apart from God. So because every existent is God's action. Of all essential attributes, Sadra is primarily concerned with knowledge and will. And he holds that God's knowledge of the world is like the soul's knowledge of the body. Namely, it is simple and single, but simultaneously it's graded in grades. Sadra distinguishes 4 degrees of God's knowledge of the things. First, providence, inaya, namely the level of God's essence and His unique ipseity, huviya. Second, the level of God's decree, kada, and his knowledge of the intelligible level or stratum of being, the level of the mother of books, al-Kitab. Third, the level of measuring out, qadar, or this is the level of God's detailed knowledge of the perpetually changing psychic aspect of being. Fourth, the level of material forms. As for the divine will, Sadra identifies it with existentiation, ijad. Sadra's treatment of creation in the Sharh al-Kafi text rests on the dichotomy ibda, absolute creation from nothing, and ihdas, temporal creation or origination in time. And as a special kind of existentiation, ihdas refers to the expulsion of non-existence from a contingent essence at a certain moment of time, whereas ibda points to an unconditional absolute existentiation. Remarkably, in his commentary, Sadra treats the realm of dahr, perpetuity, as a synonym of nafs al-waqi, fact or factuality. And this realm of factuality is existentiated by God all at once, through ibda, and it occurs dafatan wahidan, as I said, through all at once. And no change ever occurs at it. Notably, the theory of the perpetual creation, al-Hudus al-Dakhri, proposed by his teacher Mir Damad, is never mentioned in the commentary. One source, this is a difficult issue, but it was Sadra's attitude to this theory and whether he accepted it in, or which aspect. I'm skipping this discussion and going to something a bit less sophisticated. A number of passages in the commentary are devoted to the discussion of the principle of the modulation of the existence, tashkik al-wujud, which, along with the theory of substantial motion, forms the pivot of Sadra's metaphysics. And according to this principle, God is envisaged as an infinite, or rather supra-infinite, vara Allah tanahi, intensity of existence, which is the source of all existences of finite intensity. In turn, human life is viewed by Sadra as a spiritual perfectionary journey. This implies a gradual intensification of the existence of human soul and of its substantial motion towards its perfection. In other words, it is a journey of the psychic instance or the particular soul towards its archetype. This archetype is reached only by a small minority of the souls, those deeply rooted in knowledge, rasikhin fil ilm, while the overwhelming majority of the human souls achieve only such degree of intensity of existence which allows them to ascend from the world of sense to the domain of imagination, alam al-khayal. Consequently, the spiritual, read, intellectual return, al-ma'ad al-ruhani or al-ma'ad al-aklani, is the share of the elite of mankind, the prophets, imams, and divine sages, while common human beings seem to be entitled only to corporeal, that is, imaginal return, al-ma'ad al-ruh, jismani, aw khayali. And here, the question of the use, necessity, and purpose of the guidance and instruction arises. Namely, can the souls incapable of reaching the realm of the intellect profit from the guidance of the prophets and imams at all? If yes, in which way, to what extent? Does this guidance only apply to the ta'wil, or esoteric interpretation of the Quran and the Shiite hadith, and the revelation of their hidden, deepest meaning? Certain remarks in the text of the hadith repeated in the Sadra's commentary suggest that the difference between the prophets and imams from one side and their followers from the other is a difference in kind, not in degree. For example, Sadr states that only is the imam possesses the spiritual truth, al-hakika ruhaniya, while his followers are limited to its corporeal likeness. However, elsewhere he claims that some followers of the imam, owing to the refinement of their istidat, predisposition, reach the station at which they receive proofs of God's existence and unity without an intermediary, as the imam himself. So if so, is there not a contradiction? If so, the difference between the truth and its likeness, and hence the imam and his followers, it's in intensity only, and consequently, it can potentially at least be eliminated in terms of reality, that is. And then, let us ask, what is the meaning on the role of the imam? According to the definition provided by Sadra, imam is the one who substitutes God's messenger in everything that his community needs in its religious and worldly affairs, and he is the one who possesses the knowledge of both the exoteric and esoteric aspects of the Quran, tafsir and ta'wil, and the totality of the knowledge of the messengers and prophets. And Sadra explains that, according to the unanimous view of Shiite scholars, such attributes can only be found among the people of the Prophet's house, who, together with the Prophet himself, constitutes the body of the proofs of God, Hujjaj Allah. The Imam is the perfect man, al-insan al-kamil, the king of the terrestrial world and God's vicegerent in it. The earth with its inhabitants is created for the sake of him. Should he disappear from the earth, the latter would cease to exist. Then discussion focuses on the concept of shahid, witness, which Sadra interprets as a prophet's or imam's power or perception in relation to his community, to which community it relates to imam as a single soul. The term shahid, mentioned in the Quran, by the way, in numerous cases, is used by the commentator as a synonym of hadi, guide or leader. Furthermore, the Quranic verse 2:143 mentions the so-called Median community, or the community of the middle way, Ummah Wasata, which acts as a witness over the common people. And the Hadith 495, I'm referring to this edition of, Bunyad Mullah Sadra commentary, Al-Kafi, it explicitly identifies this community with the Shia Imams, who, together with the prophets, form an exceptional group of people capable of perceiving spiritual realities without the intermediacy of sensible likenesses. Sadra explains that the prophet, who is the witness over his community, relates to the latter, to his community, as a teacher to the student. That is to say, he embodies the collective faculty of knowledge and perception possessed by the community. The salvatory knowledge received through the mediation and guidance of the Imams leads to the inception and development of man's second nature, al-fitra as-saniya, and according to Sadra, this inception and development can be identified with the actualization of man's potential intellect, owing to the illumination which this potential intellect received from the agent intellect or from the Lord of the human species, Rabbal Nawal and Sani. Sadra kind of puts equation mark between these two. The illuminated individual then treads the path of the sincere, Tariq al-Siddiqeen, which consists in gaining knowledge of the things from their causes, of the particulars from the universals, and of the secondary principles from the primary ones. The history of the world is divided into 6 prophetic cycles, which correspond to 6 days of God, and which, with each cycle, the predispositions of the people become more and more refined, achieving their perfection in the cycle of Prophet Muhammad. The refinement of the people's predisposition is accompanied by the refinement of the religious law and the prophetic miracles, which gradually become increasingly more and more intelligible and spiritual. It can thus be concluded that in addition to the substantial motion of a single human individual, Sadra endorses the substantial motion of the mankind and its totality, or more precisely, of the community of the believers, in time, through the gradual refinement of the predispositions, istidadat. And when applied to the mankind of the community of the believers as a whole, the principle of the substantial motion bears some similarity, I would say, to the Ismaili or teaching of the so-called Temple of Light, Al-Haykal al-Nurani, or old teaching of the column of light, which is probably old Gnostic roots, Amud min Nur, I mean. The end of the history of mankind is marked by the appearance of the awaited Imam, called Al-Mahdi or Al-Qaim. His parousia will mark the beginning of the era of the total zuhur, in which there will be no need in the external teacher. Instead, a hidden inspiration, Al-Ilham al-Ghaibi, will be sufficient for grasping the realities of the things. این همه تقریبا که گفتم مقدمات بود و داشتم نزدیک با داستان زلف یار و خط سبزش میرسیدم، ولی مثل این که فرصت بحث اجمالیش دیگر نیست. در یک دو جمله بگویم که درباره چی داشتم میگفتم. تعویل مولا صدرا از کتاب اصول الکافی آثاری هست البته مهم، منتها به نظر من یعنی بیشتر تکریرات درس که در مدرسه درس داده و برای دانشجویان به اصطلاح امروزه دوره لیسانس، چون بحث های فوق العاده پیچیده اونجا به ندرت دیده میشه و تقریبا در چشم ملا صدرا این کتاب کلینی یک آینه نمیدونم جام جهنما یا همچون چیزی بوده که همه قواعد و اصول حکمت مطالعه خودش را آنجا دیده و اون از حوادث و از کتاب کلینی از کتاب که شرکش داده استفاده کرده برای اثبات البته قواعد خودش. مرحوم آندری کاربن اهمیت فوق‌العاده به این کتاب شرح ملا صدرا بر اصول کافی داد و این دلیل شد که بنده از اول تا آغازش میخواندم و یادداشت میکردم و چیز دیدم. البته شاید آقای کاربن اندکی اجرا کردم. بعد با یکی از شاگردین کاربن صحبت کردیم، گفت که بله درست میگوی، کاربن چیزی بزرگ از این میکرد. گفتم چرا زودتر به من هشدار ندادی؟ ولی اون چی شد که شد. به هر حال سکمی مهمی داره و برای فهمیدن جزئیات نظر ملا صدرا به درد میخوره این کتاب. منتها فرصتی برای بحث و جزئیات بیشتر نیست. خیلی متشکرم از شما.
Well, in fact, we have time for discussion. Now the floor is open for questions and comments. We have 30 minutes. Please raise your hand if you have, perhaps you. Yeah. We began late. Yeah, please. And then you. Then you. Yeah. The third.
با سلام و احترام خدمت پژوهشگران محترم و حاضرین عزیز، بحثی رو که از صبح دنبال کردیم خب چند واژه دائم تکرار میشه. از باب اینکه شاید من صحبتم بیشتر یک کامنت تا پرسشی رو بخوام داشته باشم، این است که به واقع تاریخ در دستگاه اسلامی، منهجیه روش اسلامی حجت نیست. تاریخ در آیین یهوده که حجته و به خاطر همین است که هیچ وقت تاریخ در به طور خاص مثلا مدرسه شیعه به عنوان دروس درسی تدریس نشده. پس بنابراین مقوله تاریخ یه وقت ما رو به خطا نندازه که مقوله تاریخ و عقلانیت هم بحث میکنیم به مشکل برخورد بکنیم. نمونه بارزش مبحث ناسخ و منسوخی که در قرآن و جدالی که ابتدای کار بین یهود و مسلمان ها ایجاد شد که یهودی ها گفتن که شما چرا ناسخ و منسوخ دارید؟ نکته اینجاست که به نظر میرسد که پیوند بین اصلاح و اجتهادی که شما فرمودید از بیس های اساسی دستگاه شیعه است. موقعی که این بیس رو ما در نظر بگیریم و عدم حجیت بودن تاریخ رو، در نتیجه هر لحظه رو و هر زمان رو میتوانیم اون زمان تراث بگیریم. به عبارتی نبض تراث در حال همیشه زدن هست در دستگاه شیعه و این نبض چون زدن هست، اجتهاد خودش میتواند بدون اینکه تاریخ رو ما در نظر بگیریم یک اصلاحی باشد که ما داریم در عین زمان حاضر مجتهدین ما به مبانی که دارن وارد میکنن.
به عبارتی میخوام عرض بکنم که منهجیه تاریخ رو در خیلی از مباحثی که در تاریخ ادیان در سایر ادیان بحث میکنیم ممکن است حضور و مدخلیت جدی داشته باشد، اما الان ما داریم به عنوان تاریخ تشیع داریم بحث میکنیم یا مدارس شیعی، مدخلیت در استنتاج اگر بخواد داشته باشه ما دچار اشکال میشیم. همین.
شما میخواید جواب بدید یا؟ Yeah, well, but it was your comment to the whole workshop and yes, okay. The second question is. No, you are the fourth.
Go back.
Well, where is the microphone?
Hello.
There are so many questioners, so please try to make your questions
I have
short.
a direct question. I won't comment any.
Please.
First, I appreciate the lecture of Dr. Liaqat Lakim. It was very impressive, but I have one question. I'm a believer. I believe in Quran. All what is written in Quran is my religion, is my i'tiqad. But there is one question which I want to put. First, why? I don't ask in that way. Yeah. In Islam, 4 wives are allowed. There is muta. And slave women, one can have sex with slave women without nikah. There must be some social necessity for that. I want the explanation of this question. Thank you.
Okay. If some other questioners want to ask questions of Professor Takim, I mean, for the sake of for the interest of time, perhaps I will ask. Are you?
I have to write down all these questions. I might forget them.
No, because there is please, Dr. Liaqat, I think you talked about ijtihad. That's right?
Yes.
Ijtihad is a main source according to Islamic Sharia, or maybe subsidiary source. That's the first. We say that is, according to my knowledge, we have 2 sources. The first one is the text, Quran and Sunnah. Second source is ijtihad. That's what we say. And in details, we have in the details about these 2 sources. But let us ask, that's the first question. Second, what about discrimination? Good to talk about discrimination against women, discrimination against children, but also what I wanted to ask about it, what about citizenship? You know citizenship?
Citizenship.
Yes. We know that is Muslims are equal. No difference. That's whether this Sunni or Shia. So we are suffering in some Muslim countries that's kind of discrimination against certain belonging, or certain groups inside society. Even they are Muslims. So that is against equality. So in fact, I wanted to consent or stress on this. And what's your opinion about this? What's your opinion? Because you talked about ijtihad, you talked about some discrimination. That's the first. Also,
What kind of discrimination are you talking about against Muslims?
Citizenship, Muslims inside Muslim country. I talk in general. That's the first. Second, also, you talked about maqasid al-Sharia, main objectives of Sharia. What about spirit of Sharia? What about significance of Sharia? We can deal with this according to ijtihad or not? Thank you.
Are there any related questions among those who had already raised their hands?
Are you writing down these questions?
Yeah, please, because, so with Professor Kazembeyki, I will close
I want
this.
to just give some information about Wazir al-Maghribi.
Okay. Please keep your question for later then. I will ask now Professor Takim to answer to the two questions. To the two questions.
What was the first question? I'm sorry, I forgot. No, not yours, the first one. Let me address the first one. Regarding women, right? No, I'm talking about the first question.
Well, he said that there must have been some social needs and needs for
Okay.
those groups. So,
Well, yeah, there were social needs for sure, but I think that we also have to take into account the socio and economic and sometimes historical, cultural factors which led to certain rulings. What I'm saying is this, that yes, the Quran for us as Muslims is a divine source. That is not the issue here. The issue here is we look at the literal text rather than the spirit or the intent of the Quran. The Quran may have mentioned certain things based on the social necessities of that time. But does that mean that those laws are to perpetuate forever? Let us not forget that whereas the Quran is divine, the society is not. The Quran is addressing a particular social issue or cultural issue. As those circumstances change, are we going to keep the same laws forever? Slavery is just one particular case that in fact most Muslim countries, and I think most Muslims would now say that slavery should be abolished. The same with women, because even when the Quran talks of for women, it also gives us certain caution or caveats. And I always tell my students that, they don't understand what the implications of for women mean. For women also means for mothers-in-law. But anyway, that's a different issue. It's supposed to be a joke. But the point being that that this may have been allowed at a particular time, but the Quran also came with a caveat that you will not be able to do justice to all four, so therefore marry only one. And given the financial and other responsibilities today, can we really do justice to more than one wife? The answer is no. We can barely do justice to more than one. Does that answer your question? It's not that that human beings, that men are suddenly all lose
can
control.
Can you continue later? Yeah, during the break, and are you going to answer?
Yeah, if I understood your question correctly, you are talking of ijtihad as a source. I talk of it as a process. For the Shias, at least, there are four sources of law: Quran, Hadith, and then there's the ijma and aql. And including in aql is a process called ijtihad, of which the legal theory is called usul al-fiqh. Now, what was the exact question of...
Main source or not ijtihad?
Ijtihad is a process of deriving the law.
What's the difference between process and the...
Aql is a source, okay? And what I'm saying is that yes, within aql, the process of deriving the law is called ijtihad. And of course, there are different methods of deriving the law within ijtihad. As you are aware, the Shia do not accept masalih al-mursala, they do not accept maqasid al-sharia, they do not accept qiyas, they do not accept ray, for the reason that these are not validated by the lawgiver, that they are not what we call zann mu'tabar, that zann which has been okayed or approbated by the lawgiver. It's a long, difficult process that we do not need to go into here. But I'm still not sure what exactly your question was.
Equality also?
The equation, equality. Now, of course, the question of citizenship never arose in the Quran because citizenship is based on certain principles, that is of nation states. We do not have a question of nation states in the olden days. That is why I said that there are certain problems within the fiqh, our fiqh today, because in the question, when we are talking of citizenship and nation states, there should not be any discrimination against any group. According to contemporary issues, according to the contemporary notion of citizenship or nation state. Now, when we're talking of Islam, when it comes to discrimination, my main point is there were certain forms of discrimination in the medieval ages, and all groups, all nations practiced it, not only Muslims. We found that Christians did it in Spain, for example. We find that today Israel is doing it, and Muslims did it also against minorities. But are we going to allow that in today's world? The answer is no, simply because we have a different notion. We're living in a different cultural milieu, which requires the equality of all people. I live in Canada. How can I be told, for example, if a Canadian government law passes a particular ruling that a Muslim must live in a building which is lower than a Christian building? This was what our medieval jurists ruled. And there are many other questions of discrimination. In any case, I don't think I want to prolong the discussion. Maybe we can discuss this later.
Yeah. So I think...
Before Christians, before...
Yeah, can you continue it later?
We'll
Yes,
talk
yes.
later.
I think you had raised your hand, but your question was already solved by the questions of others?
Yes.
آها خب پس شما آره بفرمایید. بعد استاد کاظمی.
تفکیک کردید بین مرحله اول و مرحله دوم در تفسیر شیعی. اینجوری فهمیدم که تأکید بیشترتون بر زمینه‌های اجتماعی شیعه در این دو دوره است. یه سوال دارم با توجه به تنوع محیط شیعی در دوره اول. اولا کوفه کاملا یک شهر چند مذهبی است. اهل سنت به خصوص اهل رأی حضور جدی دارند. مرجعه هستند، خوارج هستند. همینطور تفسیر عیاشی کاملا در یه محیط چند ضلعی نوشته شده، یعنی محیط ماوراءالنهر کاملا شیعه اقلیت داره، یه گروه کوچکی است و در درونش همین تفسیر و یه تفسیر دیگه هم ظاهرا هست تولید شده. واقعا بسترهای خیلی متفاوتی بین مرحله اول و دوم نمی‌بینیم. فکر نمی‌کنید برمیگردیم به همون نکته که در واقع باید بحث داره هویتی توضیح بدیم که شیعه در دوره اول نگاهش به وضعیت خودش یک هویت مستقل هست و در نگاه دوم داره یک گفتمان ارتباطی رو تجربه میکنه. حالا از دکتر اسوت بعد ببینید، من در مقاله شما طبعا دیدم که قرار است حکمت متعالیه به عنوان روش تفسیر کافی مطرح بشه. شما به خوبی حکمت متعالیه رو اینجا توضیح دادید، اما نفرمودید بین این مطالب و این کافی که مجموعه احادیث هست چه نسبتی وجود داره. احساس کردم آخرم فرمودید که در واقع ملا صدرا حرفای خودش رو در ذیل این روایات مطرح کرده. برداشتم درسته؟
آینه اسکندر برایشان که هر چیزی که می‌خواست از غیب به ظهور آورد در این شب، یعنی اینجا هست، یعنی در دنیا فکری خودش بود و فکر میکنم اکثر و اغلب استفاده کرد از بعضی نصوص معین جهت تایید البته نظریه خودش.
برای شما بهتره من به فارسی بگم ترجمه به انگلیسی بکنید یا اینکه به انگلیسی بگم ترجمه به فارسی بکنید؟ اوکی. پس به فارسی آرام میگم. من تفاوت میان مرحله اول و مرحله دوم رو صرفاً در این ندانستم که محیط مفسران مرحله اول تکبعدی بوده و محیط مفسران دوره دوم یعنی مکتب شیخ طوسی یک محیط پلورالیستیک بوده. مهمترین تفاوت دوره اول تفسیر شیعه در این است که از نظر من تفاسیر این دوره اولا گزینشی هستند، سلکتیو هستند، یعنی که تنها به برخی از آیات قرآن که براشون اهمیت داشته میپردازن و اون رو تفسیر میکنن. و دوم اینکه این تفسیرها کامپریهنسیو یعنی جامع نیستند. کامپریهنسیو منظورم این یعنی جامع بودن، منظورم این است که از حیث روش، ابزارها، method and devices از این جهت از تمام ابزارها و روشهای رایج در دنیای خودشون که در همون زمان وجود داشته استفاده نمی کنن. فقط فوکوس میکنن، تمرکز دارن بر نقل از روایات ائمه یا گاهی وقتا اصحاب امام. اما در دوره دوم روایات ائمه مقدارش از نظر تعداد کم میشه، به جاش روش‌های دیگر تفسیری از مکاتب اهل سنت و معتزله و لغویان، نحویان، نویسندگان کتب قرائات و مانند اون اخذ میشه و به ابزارهای تفسیری شیعه اضافه میشه. به این شکل مرحله دوم تفسیر شیعه یک مرحله تفسیر
سوال این بود که علتش چیه؟ این تفاوته، اما این تفاوت چرا شکل گرفت؟
خب من تنها فقط یه حدس میتونم بزنم از حیث اجتماعی که چه تفاوتی وجود داره در کوفه قرن دوم و سوم با بغداد قرن پنجم. به گمان من این خیلی حدس ابتدایی است، به گمان من مفسران قرن دوم و سوم مخاطب سنی رو نداشتن، مخاطبشون فقط جامعه خاص شیعه است. یعنی اونها گویی برای اون کسانی این روایات رو جمع میکنند، به کسانی میخوان منتقل بکنن که باورهای شیعی رو تا اندازه زیادی قبول دارن. اودینس یا مخاطب اینجا خیلی مهمه. گویی علی ابن ابراهیم قمی در قم نمیخواد اهل سنت در بغداد رو قانع بکنه به جامعیت و کمال و درستی تفسیر خودش، بلکه میخواد مخاطبان خودش رو در قم به داشتن مجموعه روایات اهل بیت مسلح بکنه، اونها رو دارا بکنه. اما شیخ طوسی و وزیر مغربی در بغداد قصدشون صرفاً گفتگو با جامعه شیعه نیست. اونها مجبورند یا مجبور شده اند که با یک جامعه چند ضلعی صحبت بکنن و نمیتوانند فقط روایات اهل بیت. این حدس اولیه من هست. عذرخواهی میکنم اگر خیلی طولانی شد.
Yeah, as you saw, I received an order to cut this Q&A session rather shorter, but I insist on giving an opportunity to the young guy over there raising his hand to talk. Professor Kazembeyki, ببخشید.
Yeah, thank you very much. I had a question to Mr. Taghi. What do you answer to somebody who asks that, in fact, the eternity of God is the proof for the validity of the rules in the Quran and not for their relativity? Because for God, the 21st century is as present as the past. So how do you answer if somebody asks, if somebody says, in fact, the eternity of God is the proof for the validity of the rules today, even, because he's eternal and for him there is no difference in time. That's my question to you. And I wanted to ask Professor Esotz shortly about the commentary on the Usul al-Kafi. Did you ever find cases in the Usul al-Kafi where you felt that Sadra went further in his principles comparing to his normal or his original books as Asfar or Shawahed? Because there is an opinion which says, there is a difference between those books, and he went further in Usul al-Kafi. Thank you very much.
Very, very briefly, if I understood the question correctly, that's precisely the point I'm trying to make, that an eternal God speaks eternally. His speech, he may not be speaking to us through particular forms of revelation, but there is enough spirit within that revelation on the one hand, and then what we call the Bana'ul Uqala, that it is the common rationality through which we can reinterpret, revisit, sometimes derive and even formulate our own laws based on that particular time. Rules change, laws do not. Let's not forget that. I mean, principles do not. So whereas principles are those which speak to us eternally based on the principles enunciated in the Quran. I think what we have done is we've forgotten the moral ethos, the ethical ethos of the Quran. Instead of we have focused on particular laws which were issued in particular circumstances. And as we have seen throughout Islamic history, in fact, soon after the Prophet died, many of the laws was changed as Islam expanded, as new cultures came in. And in fact, because of that, we have always had a juristic pluralism. Because of that very principle that laws can accommodate newer eras. And because of that, that's why I think that we need to rethink and revisit many of these laws.
Thank you very much. Is that okay? Can you?
I may have said, if I'm not making bad mistakes, work represents notes taken during the classes that I had with students, which we would nowadays qualify as undergraduates. So I found in this commentary cases, so what we would call cross-references, so confirmations of something that is also mentioned briefly in some other work, but something, say, rare and truly innovative, I would say, if it's philosophical thing, no, you have to go to different texts, as far obviously than perhaps his glosses, like his glosses on Hikmat al-Shiraghis. There are some interesting things, but not as this assumption or belief that this is work of exceptional importance. I think it's emerged going to Henri Corbin, and the situation with Corbin's, so to say, opinions is we wouldn't have Islamic studies Islamic philosophy wouldn't have been where we are today if he hadn't published all these numerous texts, important texts, and translated some of them into lucid French, but he made many mistakes as well. He mistook, in many cases, something matter so great importance for matter so minor importance, and vice versa. And this might be probably the latter case. If an opportunity presents itself, we can discuss this in more detail at some point.
Okay, thank you very much. Another piece of instruction which I received is very difficult to tell you. There will be no coffee break, and the next panel is beginning just after this. That's not my decision. That's decision coming from somewhere, eternal God perhaps. So I thank you all for participating in this panel, and to the speakers for keeping time. Thank you very much.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Guten Abend. Good evening. Now we are going to our last, slowly going to our last part of this day. We have two subjects from Dr. Mahabad, Dr. Shahbaz Mohseni from Mahabad University of Iran, and Professor Dr. Muhammad Shahat. Till now, all speakers were from one school, and now we have a surprise. We have two schools here. One traditional school from Shia, which we are spoken till now from 1,000 year school, and we have Al-Azhar school here today also. We beginning now with Dr. Mohseni. He will speak about the educational methods of Shiism and Sunni principles. Please.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. عرض خسته نباشید دارم و تشکر ویژه از عزیزانی که بر پادارنده این همایش خجسته بودند، به خصوص رایزن عزیز فرهنگی کشورمون در آلمان که نگاه علمی و فرهنگی و در واقع همزیستی مسالمت آمیز بین فرهنگ ها و تمدن ها رو دارند. و باز تشکر از این که از بنده کم اطلاع برای بحثی که با رویکرد تقریبی و تعایشی هست دعوت فرمودند. تمدن اسلامی یا سیویلیزیشن، اسلامیک سیویلیزیشن یا الحضاره الاسلامیه در واقع محصول تشریک مساعی علمای زیادی از فرقه ها، از مذاهب گوناگون هست و در انحصار یک جریان و یک عرض کنم حزب و یک فرقه یا مذهب خاصی نیست. و من دوست دارم اشاره هم بکنم متبرکن به بیتی از حضرت مولانا جلال الدین که میفرمایند مرد میراثی چه داند قدر مال، رستمی جان کند و مجان یافت زال. کسی که ارثی بهش رسیده باشه شاید قدر این ارث رو ندونه، چون زحمت رو پدر و مادر کشیدن، اون فرزند در واقع اون تلاش لازم رو نکرده. رستم هم معلومه که ورزش میکنه، تلاش میکنه، بازویی قوی میکنه، اما شهرت رو دیگران میبره. حفظ تمدن اسلامی و تقویت اون در واقع و به روز رسانی اون در واقع وظیفه همه نسل‌ها، همه مذاهب اسلامی و علمای زمانشناس و دلسوز هست. بحثی که بنده خواهم داشت خدمت عزیزان در واقع همونطور که عرض کردم با رویکرد تقریبی و عرض کنم که ضرورت امروز ما هست، چون هیچ وقت شاید در طول تاریخ اسلام ما وضع جهان اسلام رو به این شدت متشتت و پراکنده و در واقع پرچالش نمی‌بینیم که اخبار و مسائل مخصوصا در منطقه خاورمیانه و ظهور افکار بیریشه عرض کنم نگرانی هایی هست که ما باید حتما بیش از گذشته ضرورت تعایش و همزیستی و تقریب رو درک بکنیم. اون علمای بزرگی که تقریبا کمتر از یک قرن پیش از ایران، از مصر کنار هم نشستن و نگاه تقریب رو مطرح کردن، متاسفانه به طور جدی آنگونه که باید باشد ما نتایج رو ندیدیم هنوز و باید اون قضیه بیشتر تلاش بشه. عرض کنم حضور انورتون، من تو مقالم که مفصل هست بعد انشاءالله به همت دوستان که چاپ خواهد شد خواهید دید، یه نگاهی کردم به اون مکتب ها و دارالعلم ها و حوزه های هم اهل سنت و هم شیعه با بررسی آسیب هاشون هم در واقع. مثلا اوایل در مصر توسط فاطمیان الازهر که برگرفته از نام مبارک دخت گرامی پیامبرم هست، این مرکز ایجاد شد. نشاطهای فرهنگی و علمی زیادی هم بود اونجا، علمای زیادی در اونجا جمع شدند، اما بعداً به هر حال دچار افول شد. بعد در رقابت با اینجا همونطور که آقای دکتر الویری هم اشاره فرمودن صبح، در خراسان، در بغداد، در 10-12 جا به فرمان خواجه نظام الملک وزیر مقتدر سلجوقی نظامیه های گذاشته شد، در بلخ، در اصفهان، در ری، در جزیره ابن عمر در شام و مهمترینش هم در بغداد بود. آدم‌های مهمی رو ایشون استخدام کرد مثل غزالی، اما آسیب شناسی که خدمات بزرگی هم کردن در نشاط علمی. مثلا آدمایی مثل ابو اسحاق شیرازی در اینجا مدرس بود که خیلی اعتبار داشت، خیلی وزین و سنگین. اما یا کسی مثل غزالی رو، ابو حامد غزالی رو خواجه نظام ملک رو دعوت کرد به اونجا. اما خود غزالی هم شما ببینید یک آسیبی که در این نظامیه ها وجود داره منحصر بود به فقه شافعی و مکتب کلامی اشعری. یعنی جالب، از سایر مذاهب خود اهل سنت هم کسی رو پذیرا نبودند. و اسلامیات و معارف اسلامی تبدیل در اون عصر شده بود به یک سری جدلیات، مجادلات، و خود به علوم اوایل یا علوم عقلی هم خیلی توجه نمیشد. منطق هم خب تدریس میشد. خود مثلا غزالی کتاب الاقتصاد فی الاعتقاد رو نوشته، منطق نوشته، تدریس میشد منطق و هنوز هم تدریس میشه، اما بیشتر این منطق برای جدل بود، یعنی کاربردی که داشت اون قضیه بود. خود غزالی البته یک استثناست تو این قضیه، میبینه که اسلامیات تبدیل به یک سری جدلیات شده، چون به قول پیامبر خدا که میفرماید اللهم انی اعوذ بک من علم لا ینفع، علمی که نفع برای انسان نداشته باشه به چه دردی میخوره؟ علمی که انسان رو از دوزخ نجات نده، انسان رو به خدا نزدیک نکنه، به تقوا نرسونه و به انسان آرامش قلبی نده، یک سری مجادلات که کافی نیست، لازم هست اما کافی نیست. اینه که اون بحث فرار از مدرسه رو شما میبینید که بعد میره کتاب احیاء علوم‌الدین رو مینویسه و از بغداد میره بیرون. بعد ما شاهد عرض کنم تأسیس مستنصریه هستیم در بغداد در اواخر دوره عباسی. مستنصریه قدم به جلو بود، مستنصریه، چون در اونجا فقه مذاهب اربعه رو میپذیرفتن، تدریسش رو از مذاهب اربعه پذیرایی میشد. خب همزمان با این قضیه هم یا به موازات این هم علمای بزرگ شیعه، عرض کنم خدمتتون دارالعلم ها و حوزه های علمیه رو که دوستان موضوع بحثشون هم اکثر همین مباحث بود به لحاظ تاریخی ایجاد کردن و این دو شاخه در واقع در کنار هم فعالیت داشتن، علمای بزرگی رو پرورش دادند تا اینکه ما به قرون بعدی میرسیم، با حمله مغول روبرو میشیم و یک جمله اگر اشتباه نکنم از ابن خلدون هست، خیلی جمله تکان دهنده‌ایه. میفرماید که من صدای خرد شدن استخوان‌های تمدن اسلامی را میشنوم. یعنی وقتی ایران مواجه میشه یا جهان اسلام با حمله ویرانگر مغول، بعد دارالعلم ها و عرض کنم این مکتب ها ویران میشن و اینجا ما تلاش خجسته یک شخصیتی رو به نام خواجه نصیرالدین طوسی داریم که ایشون میاد با تأسیس عرض کنم رصدخانه مراغه و کتابخانه‌ای که 400,000 جلد کتاب داشته. در اون حمله ویرانگر مغول سعی ایشون منجر به این نتیجه میشه که این کتاب‌های مهم حفظ بشه و از بین نره در این حمله ویرانگر، در این سیل تهاجمی فراوان قوم مغول، و علما رو جمع میکنه دور هم، علما رو اونجا جمع میکنه، رصدخانه، کتابخانه، به هر حال تا حدی نگه میداره این وضعیت رو. بعد خب حوزه های دیگه هم داریم که فعال میشن و به خدمات علمی و فرهنگی ادامه میدن. منتها بحثی که بنده دارم خدمت عزیزان، البته من خیلی خلاصه کردم چون مجبورم هستم به خاطر وقت. مثلا دیگه بحث بیت الحکمه رو که زمان مأمون گرایش عقلی فراوانی هم داشت، برای مقطع کوتاهی البته. بعد دیگه اون در جهان تسنن اون قضیه کمرنگ میشه. در جهان تشیع دکتر نصرم در اون کتاب تاریخ تمدن علم اشاره به این قضیه دارن که در حوزه های شیعه توجه به علوم اوائل یعنی فلسفه بیشتر از جهان تسنن بود. خب بحث عقلانیت در شیعه و سنی رو که اساتید بزرگوار تخصص هم دارند و صحبت فرمودند. خب شیعه برای شیعه تلاش میکرد، سنی برای سنی تلاش میکرد. اما با توجه به این اتفاقاتی که مخصوصاً بعد از جنگ اول جهانی و حضور استعمار در کشورهای اسلامی یک ضرورتی و آسیب‌های بزرگی که جهان اسلام از ناحیه اختلاف دیده بود، حتی شیعه با شیعه. شما ببینید که بزرگواری مثلا کلینی کتاب کافیش رو در محیط شیعه تدوین نمی‌کنه، چون تحمل نمی‌کردن از بین 200,000 حدیث 16,000 حدیث رو سلکت بکنه، ایشون تحمل نمی‌شد. یعنی عرض کنم خدمتتون این مشکل رو گاهی سنی با سنی داشته، شیعه با شیعه هم داشته. منتها مخاطبین همونطور که عزیزان اشاره فرمودن، یعنی شیعه برای شیعه تلاش میکرد، سنی برای سنی تلاش میکرد. اون نگاه عرض کنم وحدت گرایانه یا رویکرد تقریبی یک مسئله تقریبا تازه و هنوز جوان هست و هنوز جوان یا جوانه هست که این تلاش ها خوشبختانه با صراحت بسیار روشنی مطرح شده. علتش هم همین نگاه در واقع پراگماتیستی و نفع رسانی یا سودبخشی دین هست که اللهم انی اعوذ بک من علم لا ینفع. وقتی ما در جامعه نتونیم خروجی درستی بگیریم چه فایده داره این همه جدلیات و بحث و من تو مقاله اشاره کردم به این که به طور موردی علمای بزرگی داشتیم از شیعه در محضر علمای سنی تلمذ یا تتلمذ کردن به قول علما و برعکس هم همینطور. یا حتی محدثین شیعه از محدثین سنی روایت کردن و برعکس هم همینطور. یعنی گاهی شما می‌بینید این مرزهای مذهب رو اینا در نوردیدن. شما در طرق صوفیه اهل سنت عرض کنم مثلا در طریقت قادریه قضیه از حضرت علی علیه السلام شروع میشه. در نقشبندیه که از سلسله ها حضرت امام جعفر صادق هست. یعنی حتی اون نگاه های ذوقی و ادبی و صوفی و عرفانی در اهل سنت شما بیدید اونجاها به هم دیگه. بعد تعاطی افکار و آثار خیلی زیاده. آقای دکتر الویری صبح به نکته جالبی اشاره فرمودن، تدریس سیوطی در حوزه های اهل سنت. من مواردی رو اشاره کردم، به چند موردش من فقط اینجا اشاره میکنم. مثلا شهید ثانی کتاب منیت المرید رو در واقع اومده کتاب تذکرة السامع بدرالدین جماعه رو که در قرن 7 اومده بازنویسی کرده، یک قسمت هم اضافه کرده. عرض کنم یه محقق آلمانی اومده کامل اینا رو تطبیق کرده و یعنی برای عرض کنم تهیه رفرنس برای حوزه ها و دارالعلم ها شیعه اومده از سنی استفاده کرده، سنی اومده از منابع نام استفاده کردن. یا مثلا ملا محسن فیض کاشانی اومده احیاء علوم الدین غزالی رو که کیمیای سعادت خلاصه و ترجمهش هست به فارسی، احیاء علوم الدین در 4 ربع، اومدن تحت عنوان المحجة البیضاء فی تهذیب الاحیاء اومده کاملا این رو یک لباس شیعی به تنش کرده. گاهی متعرض میشه و ایرادهایی از خود غزالی هم گرفته. این بدهبستان‌ها یا تعاطی افکار و آثار خیلی زیاده. مثلا شیخ بهایی که از معماران فکر در حوزه اصفهان هست و دانشمند کم نظیریه، واقعا معمار بوده، ریاضیدان بوده، منجم بوده. حتی میگن این آثار زیبایی که در اصفهان هست بیشتر حاصل فکر معماری ایشون هست. کتابهاش هنوز در حوزه های اهل سنت تدریس میشه و شرح‌های زیادی هم روش نوشته شده. مثلا کتاب خلاصة الحسابش رو که برای نمونه عرض بکنم تو مناطق کردستان تدریس میشه، چه در عراق چه در ایران. شرح قرداغی داریم رو خلاصة الحساب، شرح پیرباب داریم، این از علمای مطرح اون منطقه است. شرح ملا عبدالله جلیزاده داریم، شرح خلاصة الحساب. یا اشکال و تأسیس باز شیخ بهایی در علم هندسه رو الانم عرض کنم تو حوزه‌ای که کتابای سنتی رو تدریس میکنه الانم تدریس میشه و هنوز مثلا تو شهر مهابات من میبینم که کتاب، یعنی کاری به این نداره این عالم سنی بوده این شیعه بوده، علم فراتر از این قضایاست. جالبه در علم کلام کتاب تجرید العقاید خواجه نصیر طوسی، تجرید العقاید اکثر فصلهاش رو فاضل قوشچی که از علمای برجسته و خیلی مشهوره ماوراءالنهر هست از اهل سنت که متوفای 817 هجری قمری شرح کرده و این شرحش تدریس می شده تا الان هم. صمدیه شیخ بهایی رو ما وقتی طلبه بودیم میخوندیم در علم نحو، الان هم تدریس میشه شرح صمدیه. از علمای بزرگوار شیعه شرح تهذیب المنطق تفتازانی، شما تفتازانی عقاید اهل سنت مال ایشون کلام اشعری. در علم منطق کتابی داره تهذیب المنطق. شرح تهذیب المنطق رو ملا عبدالله یزدی نوشته که زمانی رئیس و نقابت نجف اشرف رو هم بر عهده داشتن، علمای بسیار دقیق النظر. عبدالرحمن جامی که از علمای بزرگ نقشبندیه بوده و شاعر، و بعضیا میگن دیگه آخرین شاعر کلاسیک شعر فارسی ایشونه، میگن بعد از ایشون ما تا ملک الشعرای بهار در این چند قرن ما با خلأ شاعر وجود داریم، روبرو هستیم، یعنی شاعر قوی نداریم در ایران. عبدالرحمن جامی که خیلی مشهور هست، ایشون کتابی 2 تا کتاب داره، یکی شرح عرض کنم خدمتتون کتابی به نام الفوائد الضیائیه، در واقع شرحی بر کافیه ابن حاجب. ابن حاجب مصری هست در قرن 6 و شافیه رو داره در علم صرف. این کتاب در حوزه شیعه تدریس می شده. یا سیوطی رو که اشاره فرمودن و چندین مورد دیگه. این تعاطی آثار و افکار رو من میخواستم خدمت عزیزان به عنوان یک نمونه از این موارد تقریبی و تلاش برای نزدیک شدن به همدیگه و این نکاتی که ما باید روش کار بکنیم، تو این قحطی عرض کنم خدمتتون عدم انسجام و در واقع قحطی وحدتی که وجود داره، قحطی تفاهم، باید روی اینا کار بکنیم که علمای بزرگ ما با همه مشکلاتی که داشتن عرض کنم در کنار هم زندگی میکردن و الان خب بیشتر از قدیم ارتباطات هست، عصر اینفورمیشن، تبادل لازمه، همزیستی مهمه. عرض کنم ما امت اقرأ هستیم ها و واعتصموا بحبل الله جمیعا ولا تفرقوا. بعد در عصر جدید ما یک رویکرد بسیار خجسته و استراتژیک داریم، یعنی نزدیکی و تقریب نه به عنوان یک تاکتیک، به عنوان یک استراتژی. مثلا شما علامه شیخ محمود شلتوت رو که رئیس ازهر شریف بودن یه تفسیر ایشون داره، من دوست دارم اون چند جمله رو در مقدمه تفسیرش که آوردن ببینید این آدم بزرگوار چقدر زمانشناس بوده و یعنی عالم شیعه که الان میخواد تفسیر بنویسه دیگه فقط برای شیعه نمینویسه، سنی دیگه برای سنی نباید بنویسه. مخاطب الان در قرن ما 21 هستیم، مخاطبمون یه مخاطبیه که تو این عصر زندگی میکنه دیگه، از اون بحث‌های بسته خدمت ازتون انورتون عرض بکنم باید بیرون بیاد و مخاطب‌ها در مقدمه تفسیرش اومده که تفسیری که امروز تقدیم مسلمانان میکنیم تفسیری است برای مسلمانان، برای تمام مسلمانان، نه برای مذهبی معین از مذاهب فقها و نه برای نوعی از انواع عقاید کلامی. بعد علامه مرتضی آل یاسین از علمای بزرگ شیعه نامه به دارالتقریب مصر نوشته و از روش تفسیری شلتوت تقدیر کرده و گفته این موجب سرفرازی همه ماست این تفسیر. خب اون بحث دارالتقریب و تلاشایی که این انسان بزرگ با اون فتوای تاریخیش داد که فتوایی بود نه در علمای شیعه ما این شهامت و این صراحت و این چیز رو نه در علمای سنی هم، چون استفتاء شده بود از محضر ایشون که سوال می شود بعضی از مردم تصور می کنند که برای آن که مسلمان عبادات و معاملاتش صحیح باشد حتما، اینو من ترجمه کردم از عربی، حالا شاید ترجمه خیلی عجله بوده، باید به یکی از مذاهب چهارگانه غیر از شیعه امامیه و زیدیه عمل کند. آیا شما با این رأی موافقت دارید و تقلید از مذهب شیعه امامیه را جایز می شمارید؟ شلتوت اینجور پاسخ داده: دین اسلام بر احدی از پیروانش متابعت از مذهب خاصی را لازم نمی شمرد، چون واقعا زمان صدر اسلام مذاهب فقهی که تشکیل نشده بود، تدوین نشد، بعدا اینا تدوین شدن در قرون 2 مذاهب و مکاتب فقهی و کم کم بعد. بلکه ما میگوییم هر فرد مؤمن حق دارد که بتواند ابتداءً از هر یک از مذاهبی که صحیحاً نقل شده، این کلمات خیلی دقیق انتخاب شده، هر یک از مذاهبی که صحیحاً نقل شده، نه اون شبه مذهبایی که ما نمونه‌هاش رو در تاریخ کلام و فرقه ها داریم، و در کتب مخصوص احکام آن مذهب نوشته شده است پیروی کند. و همچنین کسی که از یک مذهب از این مذاهب پیروی می‌کرده می‌تواند عدول به مذهب دیگر بنماید. حالا خود اهل سنت گاهی می‌بینید تو مسئله حج توافقان، چون بالاخره میرن رو مذهب شافعی، میرن رو مذهب عدول میکنه، مذهب حنفی. خب چه اشکال داره بیاد رو مذهب امامیه برای مورد خاصی، یا امامیه برعکس؟ در این عمل باکی بر اون نیست. مذهب جعفری معروف به امامیه اثناعشری مذهبی است که شرعاً پیروی از آن مانند پیروی از مذاهب اهل سنت جایز است و سزاوار است مسلمانان این مطلب را بدانند و از تعصب نسبت به مذهب معینی خودداری کنند. دین خدا و شریعت او تابع مذهبی خاص نیست و منحصر در یک مذهب نیست. این نظر صریح عرض کنم خدمتتون، یا تلاش های خجسته‌ای که علامه عبدالحسین شرف الدین که خوشبختانه موضوعی که از دیگر سخنرانیامون هست دوستان بون، ایشون تلاش های زیادی کرد برای جمع کردن احادیث مشترک شیعه و سنی با هم. اون رفت آمدها و تلاش های بود، کتاب المراجعاتشون که چقدر این ادبیات عرض کنم ادبیات مترقی، اون سبک ادبیات مترقی این دانشمند با سلیم بشری یا سلیم بشرا، سلیم بشرا رئیس الازهر، وقت این کتاب نامه ها 112 نامه رد و بدل شده، کتاب المراجعات شده. و من خواهش میکنم یه 2-3 دقیقه من وقت بیشتر بدید. تم الوقت. عرض کنم یا مرحوم کاشف الغطاء عرض کنم خدمتتون. من میخوام یک نکته، چون این مسئله خیلی مهم و تازه هم هست، حالا این بحث شلتوت و دیگران رو بحث کردن. در زمان ناصرالدین شاه قاجار در ایران، خب مسئله تنباکو رو به لحاظ تاریخی میدونیم، میرزای شیرازی فتوا میده که تنباکو حرامه. این یک کشفیه که تازه خود بنده کردم، حالا انشالله مقالش هم در میاد. یکی از علمای مفتیان کردستان یک نامه به میرزا حسن آشتیانی، مرجع بزرگ شیعیان اون موقع در تهران نوشته. تو این نامه، یک نامه تاریخی بسیار مهمی که قبل از شلتوت و این کار شده، 60-70 سال قبل از اونا، در زمان قاجاری نامه نوشته به ایشون. من ندیدم صریح اینجوری و دلسوزانه حرف زده شده باشه. این شخصیت اسمش هست قاضی کوثر، یکی از علما و مفتیان موقع کردستان هست، 150 سال پیش، و به میرزا حسن آشتیانی گفته که شما که تنباکو رو حرام اعلام کردید، من هم به تبعیت از شما مردم کردستان رو تهییج میکنم، فتوا میدم که اینا هم حرام بکنن. بعد این چند جمله رو فقط بدانید که چه کلمات قشنگی انتخاب شده و تعبیرش از این اختلاف بین شیعه و سنی چیه. بر کافه خاص و عام، معلوم و مبرهن و در کفر و اسلام آشکارا و مبین است، فرقه تشیع از ذکور و اناث و صغار و کبار که با فرقه سنت و جماعت متحد به ذات و متغایر بالاعتبار واقع گشته‌اند. از توفیق خالق پروردگار این فئتین عظیمتین فیما بین ملت شقیه کفار بسان نیرین مبینین روشن و آشکار و از برکت حضرت سید مختار صلی الله علیه الملک الغفار این فریقتین کریمتین. بعد ادامه میده که اینا 2 نهر هستن از یک چشمه، 2 شاخه هستن از یک درخت. من هم به تبعیت از فتوای میرزای شیرازی به شما ابلاغ میکنم که در تهران نشسته که مردم کردستان هم تنباکو رو تحریم بکنن. در حال بحث زیاد هست، ما اکثر العبر و ما اقل الاعتبار. انشاءالله از این همون که پیامبر فرمودن علم نافع بتونیم انشالله نتیجه عملی بدیم. یعنی این نگاه های تبعیض‌آمیزی که در جوامع اسلامی هست، چه در شیعه چه در سنی، اینا رو انشالله کم بکنیم و مصداق واعتصموا بحبل الله باشیم. و السلام علیکم و رحمت الله.
Shukran, Dr. Mohseni. Thanks, very thanks, Dr. Mohseni. As Dr. Mohseni said, we have one Quran, but 1 million tafsir. More schools than enough. The last word now is Dr. Al-Jihad. He is from Al-Azhar, from Egypt. And another school. Your word, Dr. Shahad.
Thank you very much. Allow me to talk in Arabic language because that is the language of the Holy Quran. So, in brief, also, maybe my colleague will explain some things. Anyhow,
Please, because
خلاص. ماشي. أولاً, my greeting is all of you for this invitation, for this conference. In fact, دعني أقول طيب ما خلاص ترجم. طيب أنا سأتكلم إنجليش وعربي، معلش اسمحوا لي يعني. بعض العربي والإنجليزي، ما هنا ممثلين للعربي اهو. يعني اهو لا أستطيع أن أتجاهلهم يعني. I can't ignore them يعني. يعني. طيب let us start with الحالة الراهنة للمسلمين أو للعالم الإسلامي. The current scene for all Muslims, no difference between Sunni and Shias. I think the scene is miserable. Why? Because we are suffering from misunderstanding, tension between us, clashes inside Muslim countries as well as foreign countries, between Muslims themselves. They say, this team say we are Sunni, and that team they say we are Shias. Why? I think we are Muslims. And the accusation against Islam, not against Sunni or against Shias. So we must understand that. Otherwise, I think we are ignore the facts in this world now, modern world, and also accusation against Islam, Islamophobia, as we know. The main problem also Daesh, and what practice against Muslims and against Sunnis. So this situation never expressed Islam. Never also, that is what the Holy Quran and Sunni told us about the unity of Muslims. إن هذه أمتكم أمة واحدة وأنا ربكم فاعبدون. That is the Holy Quran. And the other verse, وإن هذه أمتكم أمة واحدة وأنا ربكم فاتقون. هذا هو القرآن. So this kind of classification, we say that is kind of ijtihad. Maybe, but this ijtihad in legal questions, I mean subsidiary legal questions, not in the faith, aqidah. No, we have one aqidah, we have one faith, we have one Islam, not many Islam. So that is our problem, in fact. And that is the duty of Islamic institutions, whether than in Egypt, in Saudi Arabia, in Iran, all. their duty. Why? Why Islam itself suffering now from Muslims? Maybe Islam is suffering from others, maybe. But why from Muslims themselves? That's the main problem, in fact. So, Islam, in fact, if we want to know about what the situation or position of Islam about difference, we have kind of no clashes, but maybe we have difference. Maybe I have my own opinion, and you have your own opinion. You have a right, and I have a right to do that. No problem. But in subsidiary legal opinions or questions or ruling, but Aqidah is one. No. Allah is one. No difference between us. Quran is one. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is our Prophet. Also, we are one nation. That's what we say, but how can we make this, in fact, according to nowadays, yeah. So Islam, I think, Islam establishes difference, natural difference. Why difference? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah created us. Difference in color, difference in language, difference in thinking, difference in many things, yeah. So that's natural. Also in opinions. So Islam says, ولا يزالون مختلفين إلا من رحم ربك. That is Quran, verses in the whole Quran. ولو شاء ربك لجعل الناس أمة واحدة ولا يزالون مختلفين. We have difference maybe between Sunni and Shia. Let us recognize this. No problem. But we are ready to understand each other or not. That's the main question. We are ready to listen to me and listen to you or not. That is the main point. Everyone must ask himself this question and answer. And that is also the duty of Islamic institutions. I say, the mashayikh, the scholars. Otherwise, we ignore things and say, no, everything is God. I am Muslim, and what about Islam on the earth now? Islam I say in the books of accusation. So that is anyhow. What I taught in Al-Azhar, in fact, and this allow me also, I don't express the opinion of Al-Azhar. That's right, I am from Al-Azhar, that's my own opinion. We are taught I am graduated from Faculty of Sharia in Al-Azhar. We taught 8 schools, 8 legal schools. Hanaf school, Malik school, Shafi'i school, Hanbali school, Zahiri school, but before Zahiri school also, because that is Sunni school, Zahiriyya, Ibn Hazm. But before that, in fact, Imamiyya Isna'ashriyya Ja'fariyya. We taught this as 6 school, and also Zaidiyya school, and the last Ibadiyya school. 8 schools we taught. I am talking about myself. I taught this. So what's the problem? Maybe some people say, no, we are only Sunnis, and why we listen? And also not this only, but frankly, I am talking about this matter. As you know, تقريب. What does that mean? تقريب between Sunnis and schools, as Doctor told us about this. Participated many scholars from Sunnis and Shiites. Imam Mahmoud Shaltut from Al-Azhar, and also I think here, I know that is مصطفى عبد الرازق، that's عم جيد سليم, that's from all مشايخ الأزهر, ex-sheikh in Al-Azhar, the top in the institution, participated in this kind of taqrib between Sunnis and Shiites. With them also at the same time, من the scholars of 12ers Imamis, that is Ayatollah Agha Hussein Borugardi, السيد محمد تقي الدين القمي, السيد محمد الحسيني الكاشف الغطاء, السيد شرف الدين الموسوي, السيد محمد جواد مغنية, السيد صدر الدين شرف الدين. Why that's happened in 60s, 1960s, and before that? What about today? Why not? We can again repeat this trying. Also, I think, as you know, Fatwa Sheikh Mahmoud Shaltut, he said some person and Sunni Muslims asked him, is it allowed for Sunni Muslim to worship Allah according to Shia Imamiyya or not? He said, that is lawful. You can worship Allah, to perform your prayer, to perform your zakah, to perform your hajj, according to Imamiyya Isna Ashri. He said that. And here I have this fatwa in literally. So he said that. Even the Muslim Sunni, when he asked this, I think he expected to answer Sheikh, to answer another question, another answer. Yeah. But anyhow, he said this, and we know that it was very good, and we need it. In fact, we need it now. So why? Because multiplicity. I mean, تعدد المدارس الاجتهادية. We have many, not only in faculty of Sharia, but only faculty in Usul al-Din. Faculty of Usul al-Din also taught. I mean, students in faculty of Usul al-Din taught. Ash'ara school in theology, Ash'ara and Maturidiyya, and the Mu'tazilite, and Shia Imamiyya, and also Shia Zaidiyya, and also Ismailiyya, and so on. That is also taught in faculty of Usul al-Din and Al-Azhar. So I think we need this kind also. Maybe some persons say, why not? We exchange this. Why not in a school of Shiites? They taught some Hanafi school or any school, Shafi'i school, Maliki school. Why not? Let us understand each other. Let us be near from each other. Let us remove this misunderstanding between us. That's the main problem, in fact, because we all, I think, facing dark feet. I don't know what exactly will happen tomorrow. I don't know. And we are in Germany, and we are in any foreign country. Muslims, people see Muslims and look at them as a person is out of date. Why? No tolerance, no forgiveness, no even smile to each other. Why? Islam says وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا Quran. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا لِلنَّاسِ for all people, not for Sunni or Shias or للناس. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. والرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم says وَتَبَسُّمُكَ فِي وَجْهِ أَخِيكَ صَدَقَةً. That's in the whole Quran and Sunnah. And also not that, يعني frankly also I am talking our law, I mean Egyptian law. Egyptian law, I mean personal status law. In fact, depend upon Shia school, Imamiyya. Where is that? That is in expense, in nafaqa for women. Sunni school says expense or nafaqa, مش expense, in nafaqa for in eating, drinking, clothing, and housing only. Four elements. But Shia adds expense for medicine. What about medicine? لا, no, for treatment. العلاج. Treatment. What about treatment? Treatment, according, we took this opinion from Imamiyya and we put it in our Egyptian legislation or on our Egyptian law. That is, if any person he in doubts about it, he can يعني enter that and see that. Not only that, even what we say وصية واجبة, الوصية الواجبة. We depend upon Shia Imamiyya. Why not? So I think we need this kind of tolerance with each other. That's my, and we talk about that because I am member in the research academy in Al-Azhar. We talk like this. Maybe some people says no from my brothers or our brothers, but we say no. Islam itself says that, this. So I think this kind of many opinion, many schools, we need it because we need ijtihad. We need many opinions. If this opinion not suitable for this situation, maybe another opinion, maybe third opinion, maybe fourth opinion, maybe fifth opinion. Why not? By this we can solve our problem. We have many challenges, and we are so useless anyhow. I think 2 minutes only. So what I wanted to say, and I will finish just now. Our problem now in ourselves. That's my own opinion. Maybe some people disagree with this because we are not tolerant with each other. In fact, no. We because maybe I am looking to you something in doubt, and why? What about him? How can he evaluate me? How can he say this about me, and so on? So I think we need more. And if, for example, if we are talking about what the main sources of Islamic Sharia, and we say Islamic, for example, say many sources: Quran, Sunnah, Ijma', consensus of Muslims, Mujtahideen, Qiyas, analogical deduction, custom, public interest, blocking the means, Sadd al-Zara'a, Istisḥab, Istihsan. That is all sources of Islamic Sharia. If the Holy Quran will not find any evidence for any questions, we can make ijtihad. Why not? And that is Prophet, peace be upon him, said what? Said إذا اجتهد الحاكم فأصاب فله أجران وإذا اجتهد فأخطأ فله أجر واحد. I mean, you have legal reason, you have a right to practice legal reasoning. And maybe you committed mistake, maybe you committed something good, So I think that's what. And also we say, we say that is what is happening between. Let us not talk about the past anyhow, but talk about now. How can we face our problem, facing our problem? How can we offer solution for all this problem? Thank you very much. Shukran jazilan. Wassalamu alaikum.
We have, sorry, we have no more time for more questions than 2 questions for each one from speakers. Only 2 questions.
In fact, I think the problem for us to express or to talk on Islam in the name of Islam, not in the name of Sunnis or Shiites. That's my own opinion. Because the people or foreign countries, they say he is Muslim, but sometimes he is Sunni and he is Shias. And why he disagree with you? Why not to defend yourself? And so on, and that's happened, and they make very problem, and the clashes, and so on. So I think that is our Islamic institutions. They are responsible about this, and maybe we want to change the opinions of the boys, the girls, the younger people. Maybe, as for us, maybe we are. No problem, but anyhow, for younger, I think we need it for this.
Yeah, my question is directed to the Professor Shahab.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into a political debate now, but I just want to point out one problem that we are suffering from here in the Islamic Ummah, in the Arabic countries, or in Europe, or in America, or elsewhere. There is a certain movement. There is a certain school of thought which is being taught everywhere. It is based on killing, it's based on hatred, it's based on all these things, and we just don't want to be like hiding behind our fingers. The Takfiri movement, which is now like a cancer inside our Islamic Ummah, is making an inner war between the Muslims, and we have to fight this cancer. If we don't fight together, Sunnis and Muslims, this cancer will destroy all of us. So I think there has to be much more effort from the Sunnis and from the Shiites in the whole world to fight this Takfiri movement.
Okay.
So I don't think, I don't know what the Al-Azhar is doing to fight this movement. I just want to hear it from you.
Okay, thanks. We
Only 1 minute. Only Al-Azhar declared through I think through that is Daesh and Boko Haram, Ansar Beit al-Maqdis, all, and that's all Sunni. For you know, but they are Muslims anyhow. So Al-Azhar said they are muharibin. According to آية إنما جزاء الذين يحاربون الله ورسوله ويسعون في الأرض فسادا أن يقتلوا أو يصلبوا أو تقطع أيديهم وأرجلهم من خلاف أو ينفوا من الأرض. والأزهر قال لا يجوز للمسلم أن يكفر مسلم آخر. لا يجوز إطلاقا أن يكفر مسلم آخر. شكرا.
We have ended our day today. Tomorrow is another day, and we will continue to speak about all these questions. Thank you.